I've dropped over 40 pounds in 2 months.
Holy
Wow.
shit!
Nice.
Congrats.
Wow. Man. You gotta get new clothes,
Nice.
Avi? Or no,
you
you just
see-
this hanging
I can
off.
fit
Yeah.
2 people in this thing now.
Nice.
That's a small he's wearing.
You're half the man we know of you as.
So he's just whipped now. He lost the orange.
Just orange.
Let's go live.
All right, we're ready?
We are
I think
live.
we're
Oh,
live.
we're ready. We're on.
Goofus.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're live.
Can't you see the we're on air lights?
Yep.
Yeah. Warning.
Yeah. Well, at least this isn't the seizure one. Wait a second.
Hey,
There.
Jim, is Carrie
That's-
with
Do
you?
we have
or is
any
she ever
intro
out?
music?
No, she's. I don't know why she had to make a run to the store to pick up booze. That's all I know.
But she's by you, right?
No, she's in California. She's at home.
Oh, okay. Because
She was here.
I got a Christmas card from her, but I think from your address.
Yeah, she sent some from from here when she was here last week.
All right.
Yeah. In fact, her mom called her out on it because she's like, "So you're." She looked at the postmark and she's like,
Yeah.
"So I got your Christmas card. I really like the picture and everything. And so I see you must be in Minnesota, huh? When do you get back?" And she's like, Carrie's like, "Shit," because she didn't. Her mom's very very cautious. So
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very old fashioned.
Speaking of posters,
Sure.
anybody got any
Put a ring on
packages?
it.
Intro, Jim?
intro. I don't have an
Intro?
intro.
Yes.
Oh, you mean like
Need an
a
intro.
Let Brad
All
do
right.
the intro.
I thought that was your. Oh yeah,
Play something.
Good. I'm good.
play something. Okay.
He's out of practice.
He's making his list and he's checking it twice.
Holy shit. It's great. Yay. That'll work. Welcome,
do
everybody,
pick.
to episode 250. We made it to 250. Oh, there's Carrie. We're just started. Carrie can't hear
Boy,
us.
are my arms tired.
Oh, yeah. So, Carrie, let me know when you can hear us.
I can hear you guys.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Hey.
So I'm just starting the intro. So
Oh,
welcome everybody to episode 250. We have been doing this show, the longest running live arcade podcast for about 5 years, and it looks like we're ending season 1. So
This is the holiday special. Yeah.
yeah, this is I don't know if I want to say our last show, but this is going to be a last show for a little bit, or going on hiatus, let's say, and then we're going to decide. We're going to revamp, retalk, and decide what we're going to do in the future. But
I'm going to be
that'll
starting
probably be
Arcade
different.
Hangout after show. So if anybody wants to join the Arcade Hangout after show,
Yeah, Gabby, get on that.
Fucking hangout.
So yeah, that's why we've invited, and I'm glad a lot of people showed up. We have Andrew in the house. We have Jim Bodini. We got Seabart. We got Man Oh Man, Orange Whip, Keith Elliott, Gak Attack, Leo, the Gleek, Dave from Buffalo. We got Crafty Mech. We got Carrie, and we've got that's not your name usually.
And we've got Adam.
holy
Adam,
one
but
circuit.
he's written as AJ.
Oh, that's his clav handle.
That's a
AJCR
screen.
Oh, okay.
125. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Whatever that means.
So Adam's here.
That must
Adam
be a
I
dirt
used
used
to
to be on our
race-
show.
I used to
Dirt
race
bikes.
motocross, and
Yeah.
I rode a Suzuki RM125.
Ah.
Oh, okay. So
125.
everybody that's here right now has been with the show at some point, like maybe at the beginning or in the middle or near the end. But everybody here has been a contributor to the show for sure. So thank you for all coming. I thought today, I know I'm just throwing it out there if you guys want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I thought maybe you might want to talk about any memories you have or anything that you thought were cool, things that you remember that we had, great times that we had. And things,
Yeah, didn't
fun
Seabart
stuff.
edit together a clip show for us?
Yeah, where's the clip show? Seabart? Roll it.
Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta
I
find
want
the
a
Excel
7 DVD
spreadsheet.
compilation.
More than that, I think. It'd be way more than that.
It's on 4 DVDs.
Yeah.
Or Blu-rays?
4 Blu-rays. Yeah.
Of SD quality. Yeah.
So if anybody has anything to add to that,
But our best of show is actually available in a 128 megabyte thumb drive.
yeah,
Gigabyte, 128
Because it's
gigabyte.
about
watch it at 2 speed. I suggest.
it's about 4
15
minutes.
seconds.
4 minutes.
Over 5 years, we finally have a best of
Yeah.
Yeah.
greatest hits.
It's all the shows.
Yeah.
think
No, I like
You
that.
guys
Mac is
have any comments on that? Did I forget to say anything or?
You said
Well,
all the
I-
wrong
too.
things. No, I'm just
I'll
kidding.
just say that I miss seeing all you guys at Grinkers this fall.
Yep.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that was a real
Sad
bummer.
thing of
Straight to the
Uh,
bummer, Aaron. Come on.
2020.
Yeah, seriously,
Thank you
man.
for
Let
the
you on
positive.
Bring the
one
mood
thing
down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it out of the way now. The bad
Yeah.
stuff out of the way now. You know, it's 2020. You know, you just got to let it all out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of been like one Band-Aid right after another
Yeah.
on this particular year.
It's like a
oh,
scab underneath the Band-Aid, and the scab
The
gets pulled off
Band-Aids.
too.
No, I just keep picking at it. It never heals.
Yeah.
They
Just keeps
said
bleeding in the middle of the night, all over your sheets.
they got a vaccine.
The
The,
scabs.
the virus is morphine to new stuff. So
Sorry, I think we missed most of that.
yeah, I
Mike.
couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah, you dropped out there, buddy.
We're
You
using
went full
the Dakota
Seabird
rings.
on
us.
hello, can you hear me?
Ouch.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
we heard
yeah.
part of what you said. Something about a vacation.
Something vaccine.
Oh, it's
Bleak's
just-
light distracts me. I think the police are showing up at his house.
We made that.
He's
All
being
I
swatted.
want to
Said that
do.
already.
Yeah, we're like, put your hands in the air.
What a glowing eggnog.
All right, try it again, Gleek.
Go.
No, I said all I want to do is go out and fucking eat food and shit like that, man.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. But whatever. What else is going on?
It is remarkable how long this has been going on. I will say that. It's
Well,
It's
but you know how
talk about-
so
It's to
so
the point where it seems longer than it actually is, or it's longer than it actually is. I mean, we can't even remember. Okay, what month is
Yeah.
it? When did we start this? And we're
I
like,
can remember when it started.
we're coming up on a year.
We
I
just
got-
had an
I
event.
got divorced. in
That
2016,
event feels like it was 2 years ago. Like
There's no
it was-
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
Leo's got it. I mean, that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, that was like literally we were in San Diego and Los Angeles. That
By a
was
weekend. We
the
made it that
kickoff.
weekend.
Yeah, the week after everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's when
it was the
all went
weekend after that was like everything fell apart.
Mhm.
That feels like more than 7 months ago, 9 months
Yeah.
ago, whatever it was.
Right,
7 months,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's how long I've been separated from my Vectrex. It's still at my office. And the
Oh.
next time I have to go,
March
I-
7th.
yeah.
Yeah.
The poster
Yeah.
hanging up.
Get
March
a
7th.
legal divorce with your veterans soon.
No, it's like, and I'm sending it love letters. I'm trying to woo it back. At some point, I will have to go back into my office.
The passion's still
and
there.
I will,
get it.
yeah, and oh, totally, yeah, exactly. There's
I'm
still,
no
there's
longer
still
a member of the
the start.
Vectrex Club. I sold mine.
What? Oh, you sold yours?
Yeah, I sold it like 2 weeks ago.
You traitor.
That reminds me, I got one
Sitting at-
sitting at Andrew's house.
I got two of them.
Crazy.
How come the game was at your work, Carrie?
So I brought it in for like we do an annual fun event, mandated fun. And the one year I brought in my whack-a-mole, and then the following year they didn't want me to have to haul something quite so heavy. So I offered to bring in the Vectrex because we had a space and space theme. And so I set it up, I think, to play, I forgot, I think it was like an asteroids kind of a game, and so I had it for there, and then I just kind of conveniently never brought it home because once I had the excuse to bring it to the office, I'm like, do I want to have my Vectrex with a multi-card at my office? Yes. So it seemed like a really good idea at the time, but then then come March, and I'm grabbing things, and I'm not thinking that I'm not going to be back for
So you
over a
literally
year.
haven't been back to your office since then?
I've not been back to my office since I think my last day
Holy
was like
cow.
March 21st or something like that.
Do you have a
Same
locked
here.
office or no? Locked building, locked office?
No, well, my building's. I mean, I work for the state, and there's I don't worry
mean,
about its safety.
You could go down there and get it, right? There wouldn't be an issue if you really wanted to.
I could, but they're high at the moment. There is because I have to get actually my director's permission to go into the building because they're doing the contact tracing and all of that. But that's all right. I have lots of games, and I will at some point. I'll need to go in because there'll be something that requires me to go in. I'm sure, and I mean, and eventually we'll be back in the office too. But yeah, next time I go in, I'm grabbing it.
Yeah. What is everybody's proposed plan to go back to work? I think ours is like end of January or something. It keeps on getting pushed.
You have to wait till everybody's vaccinated before you can go back to work.
Yeah, even that date is mandatory. I'm not mandatory. What do you call that? Voluntarily. You don't have to go.
Yeah, they have that too, but the cases have like spiked so hard and so high.
I heard
it's so dangerous.
Yeah,
it's
It's
bad.
rolling. It's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
especially
to the
Orange
point now
County.
where you probably know somebody that has it, or more than
That's
one.
what's changed. You definitely know people now that have it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so-
we're really actually good in San Diego, but since they split the state up into three sections, we're being lumped in with San Fernando Valley, Orange County, LA. I mean, our ER capacity is still
good,
25+%, left, but when you average us with everybody else, we're below that 15% mark. We all are.
A really good
shit
friend
out
of
of
mine's dad just died today due to COVID. So
That's fun.
it's fun.
And Mock is
Yeah.
near San Diego, a little north of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that
Mock and
what-
I live 2 blocks from each other.
Isn't that what Elon Musk's whole thing was? That about the same thing that they were being tied into LA area, and so that's why they're moving.
He was moving anyways. There's more to that than that, but yeah.
Well, there is more to it, but that was kind of the final nail. I think he's.
I gotta pay taxes now.
Well,
I'm out of here.
Oh, well, that's just it. He's leaving leaving the plant, but he doesn't want to have to pay taxes, so he's moving to Texas where he doesn't have to pay taxes.
Well, they're apparently going to be building a new plant there too.
Oh yeah. No doubt he'll be going there, but he's not pulling out of California, which has been kind of one of the, he threatened to. And
well, look at how many businesses a year are leaving California. It's absolutely ridiculous to run a fucking business in California.
That's the same as it is. Same as it is here, West Coast.
Yeah.
It's just horrible.
We're all a bunch of tree huggers here.
Boston's no better.
It sucks. Every single city you could think of. Even though you could open up a business in Detroit for $50K, it's still going to not do good.
I think Detroit's on the bottom of cities where I would ever want to open up a business.
There you go.
Just FYI.
Pre, post, any pandemic, like like
I don't know.
Sorry, they didn't make the short list.
Yeah.
Do you want your water leaded or unleaded?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd put New York and Escape from New York ahead of Detroit, where I'd want to open a business.
Thanks, Leo.
Hey, what does your shirt say? I see the Mary. Is it a Merry Christmas? Or
Oh, it's an ugly Christmas sweater. It's
oh, nice.
Mario.
Oh, Oh, that's awesome.
How's that ugly?
Right.
It's pretty.
Like it.
Oh, it was.
It's pretty.
We had last year when we had office parties. We were going to have an ugly
When
sweater.
remember the days when we?
Yeah, I
had
know.
office
Let me take you back to a time when we had office parties. And
Now the office is right out of bed.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's right over there. Which no complaints.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in my office right now. This is take your Hangout group to work day.
Absolutely.
It feels like work, guys.
Oh, ouch.
No, I'm kidding. You know what's weird about
Says the
work,
guy that's
though?
never on anymore.
Oh, shut up. What some of my work conferences like that, people are drinking wine. I'm like, this is something we can do now.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Don't ask. Yeah.
You
They
put
got
it
for
in
all
a
the
coffee
dogs
mug.
and the kids and like the arguments. It's like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
fuck it, just go
wow,
for it.
all right.
Just
Yeah,
go for the wine.
Yeah,
Drink
you put it in a
quietly.
coffee mug and nobody has to know what you're drinking.
There you go. That's how I'm
There you go.
doing
Right.
Yeah.
It's called coping.
it. We have like the wine glass and everything. Like, damn.
I've canceled all my like optometry and dentistry and all that shit
Why?
just for now.
Oh, because
Just
it's going out?
people, there are too many people go in and out of those places.
You're right,
you know,
yeah.
that's
I've had the
I'll take a
reminder email
chance.
for my next dental cleaning since like April, because that just as a reminder, because I'm like, oh fuck that, yeah.
So, yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess it depends on your dentist. Where I went, they got like these room cleaners that filters out the air. Everybody's wearing masks and
they're not doing it.
Yeah,
I went to
yeah.
the dentist twice. Like
Special
usually they
rinse
cleaned
when
it
you
with
get there.
water, and I'm like, she goes, well, we can't use the water. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I wouldn't even come because I don't like the pick thing. And I'm like, oh Christ.
Yeah, that's true. They're not using the water stuff.
No. I mean, I survived, but she like laughed. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, I wouldn't even come if I didn't know you were going to use the water. It's just been a while. And then like I had like my throat was sore, and I'm like, I know it's not COVID because I've already been tested at work. And I mentioned the dentist. I'm like, my throat was sore. I figured you guys are like as good as the doctor. You're going to see if I thought maybe it was because I had like an infected tooth because I hadn't been there in a while. And then he's like, no, I don't see it. I go, but my throat was sore. I looked at him wearing a mask. He goes, we're not meant to wear masks this long. Like people, that is some people do get some sore throats if you're whatever.
Well, I mean, with your work, without you probably have to wear it more often than other people. Like, when I'm at home, I just don't wear a mask because there's nobody here. But with you being out and about, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to wear one in the vehicle, but
how is that not a mandate? When you leave your home, you put on a mask. How is that not a mandate by now?
They mandated that here a couple weeks ago. It's been.
Jim, are you drinking that?
Long.
Unbelievable. Well, it is believable.
No, I am not.
Williams?
Oh, looks like you got eggnog in your glass.
Yeah, I've got eggnog in my glass, but I'm not drinking that. And I'm not drinking Evan Williams like in particular. Yeah.
Detroit.
No, I've got a Minnesota brand brandy mixed in with it's like forget whatever organic eggnog it is. Most stores only have one, and so they have about 5. One's organic, and the only reason I went that route is because of the high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. It'd be one thing if it's like the 5th or 6th ingredient. It's number 2, so it's like it's a shit ton.
Filler.
And milk is the 3rd ingredient.
Yeah.
And it's dehydrated milk.
Speaking of which, I almost need to refill my glass. Hey, so Adam and I actually have a little bit of a teensy bit of arcade news. Still having switcher problems with my Punch Out. So Adam and Crafty, can you guys make me a good switcher that will work? I don't know if you guys did you read the thread that maybe not. It's a long post, but
I haven't checked it out yet.
ultimately I've got both the Vector Lab switcher and the Riddle TV one, and they both have problems, different problems. The Vector Labs one, for all intents and purposes, works, but the way it handles the audio fucking blows. So you got Punch Out has two separate audio channels, 2 different speakers, like the announcer and some sounds come out of one, music comes out of the other, and they're separated. You have individual amps for each one. And the Vector Lab switcher, actually both switchers have little trim pots on the adapter card so that you can adjust those. But with the Vector Labs one, they combined both audio channels so you get everything mixed together coming out of both speakers. It just sounds terrible. Not only that, it's like it's really, really freaking quiet. And if you turn those trim pots up like even if you turn them up max, it's not at the same level. But when you do turn them up max, it distorts the audio. So you end up having to really crank both sound amps on the monitors, and it just sounds like it's just awful. And then so that's my issue with the Vector Labs one. With the Riddle TV one, the audio is great. And it's a real simple setup, simpler than the Vector Labs one. I can switch games and everything just fine, but then I get that fucking crosstalk or ghosting, whatever, with the images overlapping, and I just cannot get rid of that. And I know I have no ground loops, like everything. I don't get that with anything else except that one switcher. And I know my cabinet's grounded perfect. Like I've went through everything. Last night I went through with a wire brush and cleaned off every ground contact in there, and if I turn the flyback down or anything like that, it's still there. I still get that ghosted image on the wrong. So like
you don't get it with the Vector Labs, right? You don't get
no.
the Vector Lab. So I don't think it's an issue with the wiring in your game itself. I almost wonder if it's just the way that who makes the other one?
Riddle TV.
Riddle
And
TV. So I wonder if it's just the way that he laid out the PCB. Like if he had the video signals for the slave monitor right next to the ones for the master monitor, or interleave between each other, then you'll get crosstalk between the video signals, and you'll get remnants of what's going on in one on the other.
Yeah, and
So it could just be how he laid out the PCB.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I tried to explain that, and he took it back, and he's like, well, maybe it's this. I'll build you a new one and send it out to you, and he did. And I got the replacement today, and it had the same issue, and so I'm like, oh, yeah. So so I'm like, well, one person on Clav is like, well, you can make have you tried making like an RF shield for it? And I'm like, I shouldn't have to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
but
and I don't think it's that kind of crosstalk either, because if it was, then you would have that issue with the Vector Labs one, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, well, I think it's a problem with that switcher. I mean, he claims that he can't create. He isn't getting that issue on his workbench, but I don't know what that consists of. And the other thing too is that I tried to show it in that video, but I no one can. I haven't got anyone to confirm or deny that they're also having that issue. So part of me is like, am I just that OCD? But it is so fucking annoying. Like I don't want I
Jim,
can't deal with
you're
it.
getting ghosting of one monitor on the other monitor.
Yep.
Oh, that would annoy me.
Yeah. So like in the video I posted, I should just link that thread. But so like you'll be able to see like a ghosted image of the top monitor on the lower monitor when you're fighting, and vice versa. And so like you'll see like player score in the KO bar. It's so messed up, and like that's a deal breaker for me. And I can't stand the audio on the Vector Labs. And it's like, can no one make a switcher that works 100%? Like I'm almost at the point where it's like if I had the skill, I would I would just make some real Jimmy rigged half-ass thing and move it up to so I could just open up the coin door and flip a switch, and I'd switch harnesses or something.
I'm almost wondering if you could do something with a pair of Gemma switchers, right? Because a Gemma switcher will only switch a single set of RGB and a single audio channel, I imagine. Maybe stereo, I don't know. But I almost wonder if you could kind of get two of them, right, and have the video and the audio for one of the monitors go through one switcher, and then the video and the audio for the other one. You'd have to do it yourself. I mean, you'd have to put in some custom connectors and wiring.
What about just lifting the 4 pins off of the one monitor and bypassing it over directly to the other end of the edge connector just for a test? And I don't know how he's processing it through the switcher shit.
Right.
Try and disconnect one monitor.
Oh, I've done that, and it still is there. Yep.
Okay.
So it's in the video signal somewhere. Like it's yeah.
Jim, he said no one else has complained about this. No, he didn't have that issue with anyone else.
I've tried. I even emailed messaged 2 guys on Clav. One had the Vector. Again, it blows my mind that no one else is noticing these things, because I emailed 2 guys that are big into that post a lot about Punch Out stuff, and I know that they have switchers. I heard back from one of the 2 guys, and he's like, "Yeah, I got the I'm running the Vector Lab switcher, but I also have the other one. I haven't tried it yet." And he said that he didn't notice that both audio channels were combined and going out of both speakers, and he thought the level was okay, but he hasn't turned it on for a while. And that's when I got a response from Vector Labs, and he's like, because I was asking, can you confirm that I'm supposed to be getting the audio mixed through both speakers? And he's like, yeah, it's designed that way so it's compatible with these other adapter cards. I'm like,
Jim,
shit.
How many games and what games do you have in there?
Just Super Punch Out and regular Punch Out.
Oh, you're just doing those 2. Okay, so you have just 2 in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's annoying the hell out of me.
Well, Jim, I just got back to my Super Punch Out board from Game Fixer, and he ran it on his bench, and it was fine. There was no audio hum or nothing. And then the guy goes, Dave, I ran it for overnight. And I'm like,
I like the
oh.
title. All I want for Christmas is a
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, I mean, we'll try. Maybe it was something with one of the connectors or something, but you heard it. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
audio hum with the
Oh, it
Super
was
Punch Out.
atrocious.
It wasn't there with Punch Out. I just swapped the boards out. It was fine. But I was like, I don't know. I feel bad. I almost feel like I gotta. If I plug it in and it works, then I'll maybe. I feel bad that he had to ship it back to me, but we'll see if it works.
Yeah,
It could have been something
like
with me. Because it wasn't all together when I got it. I had to connect there. Some connectors were off just for shipping. So
yeah.
Have you tried it with the second board disconnected just to make sure?
Yeah. Oh, my switcher?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, in the video I only had one board connected to it.
Okay.
Yeah. It does it with regardless. Yeah. It's so bizarre. It reminds me of like my red tent a little bit when I was working with the if you turn up the flyback, if you turn up the brightness, like if you turn up the levels of the video signal on the red tent, beyond like what you would normally have, you can see the other game ghosted faintly on the opposite monitor. So it's like Nintendo, I don't know what their circuitry is, but like, and I can even recreate that in my streaming setup. If I punch up the gamma and just the video signals, if I really crank them up like beyond what you normally would, you can faintly see, like I could see Dr. Mario and Super Mario Brothers behind it.
Oh, without
like
any
faintly.
switch or anything, just the native hardware. You'll see that. Really?
Yep. If you really punch it up, that's actually it's now no one would normally notice that because you wouldn't have them at those levels.
What about punch out without the switcher? Do you do the same thing? Did you crank the monitors up and see if you get the same thing?
Yeah, in my streaming setup, I can do it. Yeah. Yep.
No, I mean,
yeah.
But have you done that on punch out without any switchers? Just a native. Oh, okay. And do you see any ghosting there? But very, very faintly. I mean, you have to really punch up like the flyback and stuff, and it will. It's not nearly as prevalent as with the switcher, but because like with the switcher, it's there regardless of what level it's at. I was turning the flyback screen way down to see if I could get to go away, and
Have you tried putting two like random other boards inside the switcher? Like
I can't because it's a punch out switcher.
But yeah,
Donkey Kong and DK3.
They're different pinouts, dude.
There's no
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It's not a laughing matter.
There's nothing funny about it.
Serious.
Adam, that's all
Pissing me off.
Arcade games. It's very serious.
My OCD is serious.
Yeah.
We'll get the arcade doc.
Keith, it looks like you have a lab coat on to me for some reason.
You know, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
he's doing a Randy Fromm workshop.
Oh, I thought it was a bathrobe, like one of those, like
It's just a sweatshirt.
what's that, like a
I was-
hotel room,
or it's
like
a
nice
gi.
one.
It almost looked like a gi.
I was
Yeah,
thinking. I
that's
also
true.
thought lab coat, like because with the like some embroidery in a pocket.
Yeah.
Dr. Keith.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Dr.
it.
Keith.
You got a
Yeah, I
doctorate
have this-
over COVID, you know.
I have this red rash. It won't go away, Doctor.
You
Should I
all
not
could've
scratch it?
Throw some ointment on that.
Yeah.
You all could have got your doctorates in the year.
But anyways, that's my woes with the. I'll just wrap that up. That's where I'm at. And
Well, I had the Riddle TV one, but I don't have it
Yeah.
working. I haven't tested it because the Super Punch Out didn't work, and I had to send it back. So we'll see if I can
Yeah,
get it to
I like
work.
what
I'll
Adam
let you
said.
know if it works.
I mean, it sounds like you could do it with just the one working board.
That's
though.
what I was
Don't
gonna
you have one
say.
working
Yeah,
board?
I think I would try it with one working board and see
Yeah.
if you see.
Oh,
the
my
same
Riddle
issue.
TV. Oh yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I gotta find it. I know. I think it's on top of the. That's where all the boxes are stacked. Never opened. I don't have this yet, so it went there.
And then you order another one and go, shit, I got two of these now.
Well, that was the goal. I'm like, ooh, all right. The dream of having two punch out cabinets next to each other. I don't have the space. Like, be real, Dave. Let's just buy the switcher. Then in the future, that'll hopefully happen. But we'll see. If my acid damage punch out that's been back and forth to Texas twice is gonna super punch out is gonna work without the guy just ducking.
Jim, I heard you say there was an audio. I heard you say there was an audio issue with the Vector one, but I
Mhm.
couldn't. I missed the part where you said what specifically the problem was.
Oh, so with the Vector Lab switcher, they Punch Out has two audio channels. There's two speakers, and so some sounds come out of one speaker and music and stuff comes out of the other. They're separated.
Okay.
And Vector Lab with their switcher, he combined both audio channels so that they're mixed together and they come out of both speakers, and so it sounds different. It's like taking a stereo signal and turning it into mono.
So it
it's
doesn't have
like
that stereo feel anymore, is what?
No,
So the
it's
sounds
terrible.
work, it's just not in stereo effectively.
Yeah, and they're much quieter to the point that I have to really crank up. Like Carrie was over here, and I had to really crank it up just to get the levels to where they were, which isn't that loud to begin with. And then I disconnected the switcher. I plugged it back in the way it was, and I fired it up, and it's like it's so fucking loud because you have to turn it up so loud. Like it's I hate
like
to
they
like
heard it
shit
out in
on
the
it.
courtyard. Kind of loud, like out in the yard. Yeah,
It just begs the
it was-
question: what were they thinking? Like, I don't understand. Like, I've never, I've had plenty of other types of switchers, like JAMA switchers
Well, I
and things
know
like that. It's
his first one was for like the Donkey Kong series. And,
Those were great.
And those were great, yeah. And he did the Versus ones too. I don't remember any problems with that one either. But I'm guessing that there wasn't the audio like it has on Super Punch Out.
Yeah, it's all straight one channel.
Speakers.
Yeah.
And so he probably just kind of piggyback on what he developed on those first ones.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Not
on
realizing it's an issue.
each board. So it's a 3-piece setup. You've got the switcher, which is its own PCB, and then you've got little cards that go on each.
And that's the same thing we do with the Donkey Kong and Versus.
Yeah,
It's like
and on those
ribbon
adapter
cables.
cards, they have two trim pots for the volume to try to match in order for you to match them. But even if you crank them up all the way, it's way quieter than normally would be. So I have to go and crank up the audio amp. Not just a bit, but quite a bit, because if I turn those pots on the adapter card all the way up, it's distorted. So, that
sounds like an issue specifically with that setup, because the Donkey Kong one, like Gag is talking about, like those work great. It's usually you were going in there just like making tiny, minute adjustments.
I know it'd be a bitch, but I wonder if there's a way to just bypass the speaker wires.
I don't know.
To the outside of the switcher, because does it power on and power off each board, right?
Yeah.
Switch between them. So it's not like you'd be getting feedback from the other. I wouldn't think. I don't know.
You figure out if you could just tap into the board specifically and then run them out.
Yeah. It's like
Jim,
having harnesses tie into one. Or
Do you want me to mail you my Riddle TV switcher? You could try it to have a different.
You could, but I've tried two already.
He's already done two. I think he's more interested in you trying out your board and his. I think that'd be a better data point.
What if I mail you all my boards and my
mail you my cab?
No, I'm just gonna have Crafty and Adam team up and make me and I'll pay them and they can make me a nice one that actually does what it's supposed to do.
I hope it works. I mean, shit, I was excited that the ghosting that would bug the fuck out
I've
of
got. I've got 100 now. Granted, Riddle TV's. He said that. I mean, he offered for me to return it and he'd refund me, which is fine. That's fine. But I really wanted to just get the damn thing to work.
I actually my money. Just help me fix it.
And then I've got money into the Vector Labs one. I'm so sick of going back.
Adam and Aaron collaborated. They could call themselves Crafty Circuit.
Ooh, I like it.
Collab. Come on, we need a collab.
One mech.
One mech.
One mech to rule them all.
Yeah. Well, the good news about all this is I just bought my very first fancy soldering station.
Yay! What'd you get?
Yay!
I was gonna just get but I was gonna get like a nice Hacko setup, and then I got some unexpected. I got a PayPal deposit from some of the stock footage that sold, and so I was like, okay, I'll go a little bit fancier, and I bought like a Pace.
Hell yeah, dude!
Something 200 or something
You
like
got
that.
the same one I got. It was like $400.
Yeah, it was like 3 something, and then I bought a bunch of tips for it, so it ended up being a bit, but that's because I literally like just like a week ago threw out my main soldering iron because it's finally had spent its life. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get rid of this thing.
You know why I got that one, Jimbo? Because J Rock told me to get that one. He recommended.
Oh, really?
It highly, yes. Because so if you use it yet, what you'll notice is really nice. You can hold it really close to the tip, and there's no heat there. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, cool.
And it heats up really quick. And I think I dumped on someone last show about soldering irons. I forgot who it was. So that didn't
I just ordered it today because for Christmas, Carrie got me the what is that? The FR 301 desoldering.
Dude, you are
gun.
all set, man. I'm gonna send you both to repair.
Exactly. Yeah. I know.
Oh my God, that reminds me. I forgot to. Speaking of soldering, Carrie, you saw this because you were over here. But so I had a problem with my super punch out wasn't saving the scores, and I narrowed it down to the one RAM chip that the battery, the voltage goes to. And the chips finally show up. And I'm all excited, and I'm just having. So I bought sockets for it too, but I didn't realize this until after I fucking got the socket in the board, and it was a pain in the ass to get the socket in the board. That it was the wrong height. Like I had the space and everything right, but it wasn't high enough to support the legs of the chip. And so I'm like, oh, so I just need to solder this fucker right in the board. But in the process of that, I broke what I break 4 traces, I think.
Oh no.
Yeah. First a pad, a trace completely lifted off the top of the board, and then and then a pad underneath it lifted, and I'm like, this isn't gonna. I told Carrie, I'm like, I got it soldered in here, but I know this isn't gonna work. And sure enough, it didn't work, and so I had to learn me how to read some schematics, and I spent like a good half an hour, like, okay, this has to go here, and this pin is here. Okay, that's pin this. I ended up jumpering 4 different traces, and I fired it up, and it worked. But it's so ugly. It is the ugliest. I wish I had. Did I take?
Jim's like, my hopes aren't high on this. I don't have high hopes that this one will work.
How did you go with the paste though, Jim? I'm curious on who recommended that to you.
What's that? Oh, I just looked at a bunch of reviews and stuff. Like, everyone's got their opinions. Like, Clav is just a rabbit hole, because everyone's opinionated. And so I just started reading a bunch of reviews, like in this ballpark, this dollar figure in this ballpark, and yeah, it's here I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's all over the place, yeah. But it works.
Crying now. Oh, the humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad, but hey, it worked.
Man, would you want something, Mike?
No, I'm signaling to Dave.
Oh, I'm like, what is that?
I want Dave to hurry up and pass the game in poker.
There was like gang signs going on. Like,
oh no, I was trying to get eye contact.
Well, I
haven't seen Man and Man so long, so I ran upstairs to take a picture of my treadmill. And I said I'd invite you over, but because we took my parents' old treadmill when the gyms are closed. My wife wanted to get a Peloton bike. Let's buy a treadmill. Like, are you high? No way. Like, and then my parents had one that they never used. I go, I bet you that thing's got 10 miles on it ever. So we put it up. It's upstairs. We've been using it. I've been using it. But man, oh man, for those who don't know, we had an issue with the treadmill at Grinkers. We're not sure. I had investigators on the case, but we don't know.
I think I've heard this story before.
Gabe, I don't think there's anybody within 50 miles of you that hasn't heard that story.
It's
so,
well, no, not the only good story.
No, the greatest
we lost
story
Gak.
It's
you didn't shit your pants. Oh, hey.
No, yeah.
Wait a minute.
No, but the me and Man Oh Man watching Fetish Boy pump himself up in the mirror was priceless. And we both go, we're not really gym guys, but do you think that was Nora? Like, I don't know, man. Like, we're like, because he was like, he had to get the poses down and this. We're like,
oh wow,
damn, maybe we should do that.
All that was missing would be for him to take a selfie in the mirror.
It was really funny. I mean, I love Sean Williams too, but it was just me and Man Oh Man we were laughing at him and at us. You know, it's like, well, I guess he can. He lifts. Fuck.
Jack's in the green room.
Yeah. Oh,
that's right.
Yeah. That's great.
But it was good times. I
He's
love
doing the holiday colors,
hugging my
red.
friend.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on completing the ceiling.
Yes, finally. It only took
That's awesome.
I was going to say it only took all of COVID.
Yeah. So our Wi-Fi has been flaky lately, and my wife just told my son, like, you know, Seth, the Wi-Fi is out, Seth. You know,
Chris. Oh, sorry, Seth.
Yeah. So what does he do? He just like unplugs everything and resets it all. So like, just killed all my internet.
Oh,
that's funny.
Well, shit. I was looking. I'm like, who did we lose? We lost one, and then
you see all the
no one
Windows
posted over
shift
there.
restack.
Yeah.
They're not in alphabetical order.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wait.
I
Dave's
can't
gonna have
do
to
the click
redo
and
it.
drag thing. It's not working for me.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
JK. That's right.
Oh, I need more eggnog.
I'm organizing.
I really like that Gleek said that you can move these windows around. It's kind of funny. I mean, how did I not know you could do that? Shift people.
I'm moving you guys around?
No. I'm like shift.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't know we
am
could
moving
shift our
people
own
around.
windows.
I thought I was doing it to you guys too.
No, but you mentioned no. I didn't know that
You
we
move
could
your
do
mouse
that.
over the screen.
I didn't know you could do that
with your
either.
hand.
Yeah, he
I'm
said, you
putting
know,
the people who are talking the most up on top and like Aaron and Adam on top.
you're going. That's funny. You could organize them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do. It's not letting me do that.
You gotta go to
do
gallery.
either.
That's because you're in Canada.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I can't do it either. So it must be.
Damn it. Wow. You guys are
See,
We have 30%
we get
less
screwed
features.
up.
Yeah.
30% less
I
features.
gotta look over here and I can go. Yeah, Abraham down there.
That's because you're Canadians. You're too nice to rearrange people and like.
Can it be a newer
Exactly.
version of
They like-
Zoom?
Too nice.
I just updated mine. Like,
We just let
literally
them be.
2 days ago.
Oh,
I mean, I never do, they never asked me, and it was literally a couple days ago or whatever.
Then they forced
Well,
it down your
Sunday, I'm
throat.
guessing, right?
Yes, probably. Yeah.
I was thinking of you in your dragon's lair, Dave. But you're never gonna. I mean, you
I'm
will
never
get
gonna
that
get
guy.
it.
But oh my god, I was
tried to
thinking
give
about,
I tried to give the guy more money because I wanted to. Like, I only gave him a $200 deposit, so it was $1,200 Canadian. So it's only like $900, and so I owe him $700. Or I owe him 1,000 Canadian because I gave him $250. That's right, because I paid $1,250 Canadian. I gave him $250 Canadian, which came out to like 187 at the time, and then so I owe him 1,000 Canadian, and I wanted to give him more because I'm like, you know, remember me, like, you
Right.
know, but
Don't
he
sell
didn't
it.
want.
Don't sell it. Don't sell it.
No, he wanted to give me my deposit back. I'm like, no, I don't care how long this takes. Keep that money. And then I tried to give him more, and he said, no, don't worry about it. We'll deal with it after everything. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Yeah, that was February. Or no, February I gave him the deposit, and then I called.
Just
And then
have him put it on a skid and ship it.
Well, you know what it is the guy's got a ton of games, and I think it's in the back because that's why I didn't get it right away because he had some show that closed and he had to move his games back in his storage unit. So he goes, no, it's in the back of the unit now. Like, it's not like an easy thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'll wait. You know, then COVID hit. Well, COVID started. That's why the show canceled. And then he was like,
it's not even COVID. It's Canada. Literally, we cannot go across the border for any circumstance.
Yeah, we shut you fuckers out.
Yeah, want us.
Yeah, you did. The good
And
move.
so to
FYI.
Add to Dave's story, I also have a Canadian friend, Justin Windsor, and he bought 3 games off me, paid for them. I went and got them for him. But this was like a week before the COVID lockdown happened with Canada. So they've been in my storage unit for a freaking year. You can't do anything about it. You can't ship them like whoever just suggested. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And it's not economical to ship them. So.
And Dave, he's right over the border, right? I mean, he's right over the.
Windsor is like 10 minutes from me.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's why I bought the Dragon's Lair.
Like,
Yeah, it's
Windsor
20
is
minutes.
a border
20
town
minutes
right
for
next
me.
to Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dave lives right next to Niagara Falls.
Well, that's why this guy was in Hamilton, and I said, where in Canada, where in Hamilton is the Dragon's Lair? He goes, no, that's actually in Niagara Falls, Ontario. I'm like, oh my God, you're 20 minutes away. It's 19 minutes. I'm 19 minutes to the border.
Dave, we're picking up a vacation 2022. There we go. That'll have to be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it as long as the guy. That's why I was kind of disappointed he didn't take more money. I'm like, let me give you another $500 or something,
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, one or two people that could probably go and get it,
Well, I think there's other issues though too. If it's in the back of his warehouse, he's like, I don't want to deal with this is an all day event. I thought I was just clearing out some stuff that was going to be free. Here, take get rid of this and lighten my load. But maybe at that point, my friend Donnie's always wanting to buy games. Maybe we could buy a bunch.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll lighten your load, and he'll bring a trailer. If you want to sell some projects. But yeah, what made you think of my Dragon's Lair, Carrie? Just sitting there, just Canada talk.
Yeah, so you know what it was on the news? They showed the shutdown of all the trucks that would be going into the UK or out of France or something. I forgot quite what it was, but they had just showed all these lined up semis that couldn't move. I think it was in France, and then it made me think of all the for just a second, just a split second, because I just saw the image. I'm like, is that between the U.S. and Canada? And then, and then I'm like, oh no, this is en France. But then that made me think of your Dragon's Lair, and Dave, it's just I envision it just like.
Well,
it's cool. I'm cool
because
with
it's
it.
not just a game for you. It's like this is a game you have actively.
And it was funny when we did the retro or what are they? The New Wave Toys ones. I wondered what I was going to get first, and it was the Little Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, the little one. Yeah. Then it's going to grow up and be a big one.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it's cool, but it's making my son, because he played the little one and he plays it on his iPad. He's 8, so it's going to make him appreciate the real one when we get it. Speaking of which,
I was going to say I have a feeling your son might be playing something else, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, the custom MAME thing.
Yeah,
it's exciting. But speaking of which, does anybody have any good 2-player 8-way games that we should put on? My friend's loading a bunch on it. He's not getting the whole cat because he's setting up for the 6 buttons or whatever. He's helping me out. But is there any that you could think of off the top? Anything 8-way joystick with up to 6 buttons, from the day.
You got a lot of options there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I did Mortal Kombat.
Pretty much every beat 'em up that there is.
Yeah, I did Bad Dudes or what's the other one?
I mean, you got the Simpsons and all the.
Yeah, well, it's a Simpsons. It's a Simpsons cat.
I saw it. Yeah. So
Oh
you got
yeah.
X-Men and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
NBA Jam, maybe.
Yep. That's what I did.
X-Men versus Capcom. That's a fun game.
Ninja, baseball, Batman, or Bat, whatever.
Oh, that beat 'em up.
Yeah, that's a good one. The kids.
That's a real good one.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Boinga.
Japanese game.
Yeah.
What was the last one? What did you say that was a good one? Somebody said it out. What was it?
Daddy, can it be the finger this time?
Ninja, baseball, Batman.
Yeah.
Ninja, baseball, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That sounds like a title a kid made up.
It's really good animation and stuff.
Metal Slugs are fun.
What year was that made? Is that older though?
93.
Oh, okay. Because he's my friend said he goes. I tried to put Tekken and Dave, but it wasn't. The RetroPie didn't seem to unless my emulator.
Crafty Mech. What was that game someone brought up in the Crafty Mech Slack? It was Uncle Farts or Uncle Poops or something like that. What's the game called?
Was it recently? Just in the last week or so?
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks. It was one of those weird games that was a mod of a Scramble hardware or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It was,
I can't remember the name of it, but it looked pretty shitty.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Uncle Farts or it's something weird like that. And it's kind of Pac-Man-ish looking mazes. And he kind of bends over and farts in the direction of things chasing him or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Sounds like an I sequel.
It's really bad. Yeah.
I sequel.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. It sounds like Pac-Man eats and then it farts. The stuff. Yeah. It totally is like a mashup of eyes and Pac-Man.
It's called indigestion.
It's called colon.
Colon man.
Colon man.
Yeah.
Dave, any Neo Geo game
Brown
like
Eye.
Metal Slug and all those are good games.
Oh, I think you did put Metal Slug in any Neo Geo game. All right.
I always liked Run and Gun. That was a fun basketball game.
Brown Eyes.
Post a link to the Batman or Ninja
Brown
Batman
Eye, the game? Is there-
in IRC.
Is it the YouTube one?
You go backwards.
The joystick is reversed.
Malt's a
You
good-
gotta-
that's a fun
you
game.
gotta- you gotta do it backwards. That actually be pretty funny.
Oh, the sounds in that game ought to be good. Crafty, come on, hack it, mod it.
Yeah.
So what's your pattern for this game?
Whoever
Well,
said
first I go
Ninja
after
Baseball
the-
Batman, my kid's gonna love that. That looks
You go after
that's
the
his-
soft serve ones, and then you go after the hard ones.
This Gleek's creep show.
Yep. No butt crack.
Oh, butt crack. I was gonna say
Promises,
that's
promises.
Not again.
that's number one highlight I would think from the whole.
Yeah.
We're all like, he's bending over. We're like, oh my god, that
Yeah.
was crack.
that would make it into the 4.5 minutes for sure.
Damn, like
Yes.
there's no zoom on this camera. What the fuck? Oh well, you get a far distance from me.
I have
Oh, wow, look at
I have
that.
friends that were texting me that were telling me that you look like you're masturbating.
Who, me?
Yeah.
You do kind of know, yeah. Sorry.
Your friends
Yeah, really,
told me,
really
huh?
be careful what you ask
you
for.
keep adjusting yourself, but you can't see where your hands are.
And he's sitting there with his eggnog mustache.
Yeah, little smile on his face. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I'm leaving.
Once
He
was a
means
man
business.
from Detroit.
Yeah.
Hey, at least
Don't get it
Batman
in
got
your
a
knob.
Detroit hockey jersey behind him.
Yeah.
That's right, guys.
Stevie Eiserman. Mhm.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
Steve, Gleek, you're causing quite a stir on Clove. You've got two threads hating you. It's great.
What's
It's
one?
very
Behind
entertaining.
me, I can't keep up.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
You just love the
The conflict.
the friction. I'm like, oh my god.
No, it's Island fucking Pirate, right? This motherfucker posts the board up the tail.
Wow.
That was the
I'm
fucking
sorry.
thing. Deletes the whole thread. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
All right.
I'm like, no, this
I
is-
agree with you. It was a
this
little
is not
unusual.
gonna
Why did you
fly
have a
for me,
picture of the
guys.
board?
So what I did, I went to this Thomas Wade site that archives every post that Klob does. And I'm like, motherfucker, you want to delete your shit? Eat this. So, I don't
Merry
care.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
You filthy animal.
Did
Kill the animal.
Did you chime in
Leave
on
it on the
the,
doorstep and get the hell out of here.
the captain's chair thread, or no? Were you not involved in that?
I did not shit on the captain's chair thread at all.
You did not.
Have
Okay,
to
so
pay for
yeah,
your pizza.
You guys
I'm
are
throwing,
safe there.
I'm throwing you under the bus, and you weren't even on that one. But I thought you were involved because there was
Not
a
shit on the
What
captain.
money? You have to pay for the pizza, sir.
I just put the link in our chat.
That's so.
It's called Uncle Pooh.
Yeah.
How much do I owe you?
Kinda looks like,
$11.80.
Kind of looks like Tutankhamun.
$12. He is the best with that remote.
Shooting
That's the most
alright.
amazing
Looks like
pause and
Tutankhamun.
resume on any VCR ever, and he has the amazing ability to edit on the fly too.
Uncle Pooh.
Yeah, the gun didn't make sense until he threw the firecrackers into the bucket.
Yeah,
Then it made
yeah, yeah,
sense. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah, yeah,
sorry. Didn't work. With the pizza guy, he didn't do that, or at least it didn't seem like it. But yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, we're talking Christmas movies.
Yep. Hey,
It's the Christmas show. Come on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uncle Pooh.
Uncle Pooh.
Never seen
Mhm.
that one.
That was the Crafty Mac game. Uncle Pooh.
Uncle Pooh?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what Gak was talking about.
It's
Someone
called.
brought it up in the Slack chat in the
Uncle
Crafty
Pooh.
Mac.
Oh, okay. It's called Uncle Pooh.
that requires a
Uncle Pooh,
one-way
yeah.
joystick.
Because you mentioned some game, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was something that was borderline foul to or something. And then somebody else said, like, well, as long as you don't add Uncle Pooh. And I'm like,
Oh,
Uncle
okay.
Pooh.
Wow.
Yeah, they never did make a video game about taking
Uh-oh.
a shit.
We got
Ah.
presenting-
Oh,
Oh, that was cool.
It's Santa.
Oh,
it's
I'm getting like a half video feed. I don't know if you guys are doing the same thing.
That game looks kind of neat.
I've
Actually.
seen it.
Oh, I know why. Never mind.
Operator
There we
error.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Uncle
intermission
Pooh's-
scenes.
It looks like Tutankhamun.
Oh, so he's pooing.
Oh, there he is. He looked like his.
Wow.
Oh,
That was it.
Just pooing.
Oh, no.
I want this game.
Bubbles come out of his butt.
This is
How
an
much
actual
this
game.
PCB cost?
Yes.
It's an actual game.
Right? I mean, honestly, the gameplay looks terrible.
I like the guy's beard.
I want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a remix.
Yeah,
I'm
this looks
surprised you
awful.
haven't seen this
Where
when
can
I
I
played
get
it.
one?
Make it happen, Crafty.
Make it so.
Uncle
Is that our
Pooh coming in
Christmas gift,
January.
Crafty?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was going to be Galaga, but you're right. It's going to be Uncle Pooh.
Yes.
Sorry,
It
sorry.
is
People have spoken.
Damn straight.
I mean, Uncle Pooh's like a
Uncle
household
Poolga.
name.
Yeah.
That's the
all
one
played
game everyone
Galaga.
recognizes.
Yeah. Yeah. People can't even agree on how to pronounce Galaga or.
It's terrible.
Galaga.
There's only one way to
They
pronounce
walk right past this Pac-Man. And they're like, "Oh, you've got Uncle Pooh."
Yeah.
All right.
See, Bart, I didn't need to see Gleek's ass.
What are you doing now?
He just put the link in the chat.
Stop it.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah,
When you
right.
stood up and give us the full moon.
Those were a better year than 2020 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. I will take the butt crack over this year. That's for sure.
When I used to put names to each of the episodes, everybody do the KY slide.
Yeah.
So Carrie, someone posted a thread on
Oh God.
Tato, even Tato.
Oh yes,
as
yes,
bad as I
right.
remember.
Yeah, how do you pronounce it? Or Taito?
Harry.
My
Which is-
fault.
So yeah, that's the way to check
So dark.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Harry
what I
plays.
think. I think
Should
that's
look
right.
into
Stop
bleaching.
talking about my ass, man.
I knows we've all ate
Jabba's
shoe
palace.
Want to fill it with
Guy
marbles.
deflected there.
Yeah.
No one bought it.
Yeah, no, it was a nice try. Yeah,
Ass crack madness.
that's great.
Fired.
Now I have to kill all of you.
Oh man. I should just put that-
Uncle Pooh.
Should be Uncle Bleak.
No.
All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, you'd have to have a
Steve
Santa
Hart.
beard. That is disturbing. It's kind of a Christmas game though, because
Yeah.
it does look like Santa when he's not wearing his Santa uniform in his off hours after he's eaten all those cookies and drinking the milk after being lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
What was the what's the movie where is it
It's a Tim Allen. It's Santa Claus where he
Oh,
says
that's
he's
right.
like
lactose intolerant? Yeah.
And next year the girl gets some of that milk.
Soy milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here I got one. So, what's everybody's arcade resolution going to be for next year? Does anybody have a project they want to get done? Does anybody have a game they want to hunt down? What's
Hopefully
everybody's
not have
goal
to
for
close
next
my
year?
doors.
Yeah. Jesus, I know.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Adam, pole position.
He knew it was coming.
He knew we were all thinking that. We just didn't want to say it.
Actually,
It's
I
been
defended
our running resolution for the past 10 years, right?
Totally a setup.
Adam, I
My
just
God.
wanted, if you didn't read the thread on Club, someone said, "Can I name my kids' names to get the pole position board after I'm dead?"
I defended
love you, Adam, but you should know to expect.
I was.
Oh,
I was.
no, it's
I was-
fine. It's totally
there
fine.
was- someone posted on
And
the
I
club.
didn't say it with intention until I looked down and go, "Oh, hey."
Like 2 seconds. I actually
Oh,
defended
God.
Adam on Clav a few days ago when Carrie was here. We both had a bit of alcohol, and I read what thread was that? Someone like bumped it. It wasn't. It had nothing to do with pole position, but they're like, "Oh, it'd be nice if Adam would finish the." Oh, here I gotta find it because that's what it was. My video I did for your coin ups, Adam.
Okay.
So someone necro bumps that thread, well, it got bumped a couple times because someone's like, "Oh, that's a great video showing how to install the coin up. Thanks, whatever." Then this other dude posts, sees Adam's name, searches pole position, no update in that thread, posts it here so others don't have to do the same. And so like I read this. And Carrie's like in the kitchen making a drink, and I'm like just going off. And she's like, "What's your problem?" And I'm like, I was hammered, but I'm so pissed. I'm like, "Well, what the fuck is this idiot doing? Posting in this thread?
Right.
What an ass-tard. He probably doesn't even know that like how busy what's going on." So like I had this big so Adam, is doing this and this and this. How do you feel now, fuckface? And then I'm like, I was about to post. I'm like, nah. So then I revised it. Yeah, no, I should have. And so then I'm like, I revised it. So then I revised it a little bit, and then this is my response. He's a little busy saving the world. Not sure if you're aware, but that dude travels to third world countries and volunteers to help starving families. This is on top of his full-time job and being a good father and husband. He's well aware of the fact that the project isn't complete. And I say this because I communicate regularly with the guy. And then I did have, how do you feel now? But then I was like, nah.
So you said you posted that?
I posted that. Here, I'll link you to it. Yeah.
It's huge, dude. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, there. That's And then he responds.
I love you guys.
Yeah. Well, I just of all the people to attack, though, I'm like, oh no, you can't.
That's what makes it really hard for me because this has been a dream of mine to put this thing out there for forever, as you know, and and about halfway through the project, I switched jobs. Which was a good move for me, but this job is like from a time-consuming perspective, it's just unreal. It really
just
is.
A vacuum
and
suck.
And so the last thing that I want to do at the end of the day from designing hardware is to come down in the
design more
lab
hardware.
and work on pole position. You know what I mean? And so there's that part too. But at the same time,
you'd rather work on my Punch-Out project.
There you go. But at the same time, it's like it's I understand that people are passionate and want this to come out, but like when it doesn't come out, in a particular year or whatever, like they really turn. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've gotten to the point where I have to stop posting updates because it kind of lights the fire a little bit. You know what I mean? Like throws a little gas. I would love to let people know what I'm doing. I'm actively working on. I'm adding all these extra cool features that Clay and I have worked on. But I can't dare publish any of that now because I've learned my lesson. Like people really are interested in it, but when it doesn't come out when they expect it to, they really turn on you, and I get blasted with emails, negative emails, and trolls, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like I just have to stay away from all.
You know what? Fuck them. You don't own anything. You didn't take a deposit.
But
you didn't take a deposit from them.
I don't know.
It's society now. Everybody finds a reason to bitch, whether they're happy or
the
not.
The fast food nation, everyone wants it now.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
Everybody's entitled to something.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm entitled. I'm entitled to complain. It's free speech.
Yeah.
Well, what are you bitching about?
I noticed that as soon as I open the arcade, nobody wants the game. Everybody says you should have this game.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not. No, you need.
I
you
can
need
see
to
that.
Have, I don't need to have anything. It's my fucking place.
Why? So you can play it twice and leave?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why don't you have Mr. Pooh? You need to have Mr. Pooh in your arcade.
I've been asking my friend Crafty for
all right. That's
now.
a one exception.
Leave, right?
I mean, I can.
Do you have Mr. Pooh? Oh,
you can already picture now. This board is going to get released, and people are like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I just put a pie in it. I got tired of waiting." So people are still gonna.
And that's the other thing too. It's like to have come that far and then have that slip in. It's just like,
the pie position.
Oh, I didn't mean that, but no, I just
like the countless hours I spent on this.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then and it's interesting. It's just it took me so long to do it that technology just took off and became so
mainstream.
The original Raspberry Pi, I think, couldn't run certain games, but now it's like what are they up to, like Raspberry Pi version 4 or something?
Jason already put his PDI out.
Yeah, so it makes it that much harder to I don't know to come up with more titles that warrant taking the time putting them on an FPGA, because you've got the Raspberry Pi that can run them all. So,
but you know what, your product is still more sought after than that will ever be.
Yeah. Yep.
You think so? I mean, I don't know. I really haven't been following
FPGA, yeah, because arcade
Guaranteed.
J card is shit. It's just Raspberry Pi crap.
And there's a lot of issues with it. People are.
Well, I didn't
bitching
mean
about
to
it.
shit on arcade Jason.
I know, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that.
Well, no, it's the difference between like a perfect, proper emulation, hardware emulation
it's crack
versus
versus cocaine. I mean, people bought crack. I mean, they want the coke, but
It's how much money I got.
It was cheaper.
It's a different demographic too.
I got $5. I'll buy the crack. Okay.
Yeah, they just bought the
I
crack.
love Andrew's
They'll
face. I
tide
just
me
happened to be
over.
looking in the corner, and he was like, "Wait a minute, I don't think it's anything like that."
not really the direction I was going with that analogy, but
they know it's not as good, but they want the fix, and they're like, "Oh, smoke crack."
Dave said, "Hold my beer. I got this."
I'll give me the crack pipe. Fuck it, I'll try it.
If you can't get a BJ, you take a handy. They'll tide you over, I guess.
Well, I mean, kind of what I meant.
Don't
to
give
say,
up, Adam.
Got
any more of that crack cocaine?
He made a very nice board that fits a pole position, and he can put a pie on
Yeah,
it.
and I don't want to knock the guy at all either. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a vacuum there. There was a need, and he filled the need.
But the reason why your
for
solution
speed.
is more popular is because it's an FPGA one-to-one solution that nobody has ever done yet. So
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been following his project intentionally, right? Because I don't want it to discourage me from finishing this.
yeah,
But so I really don't have any. I don't have any feedback, or I haven't read any feedback from people that have used his hardware, and is it as good as the native game with the original hardware? I don't know. I haven't really followed any of that stuff. So.
I think we could sum it up as to say that it still has issues. It's not.
Sure.
It is not a perfect emulation.
Sure.
I mean, we won't go into details, but yeah, it's not perfect.
I think there's still going to be a huge market, Adam, if you ever
Absolutely.
decide to do a release. I wouldn't be worried at all. Yeah, people still want it.
Right now, Clay, it's kind of in Clay's court, so to speak. I don't want to say all of it's in Clay's court, but we found some improvements that we can make with the hardware. So he's doing that on top of his full-time job and all the stuff that he's juggling like me. And so what I've been trying to do is, okay, if he's got to take care of that, what can I do to kind of keep things going on my end? Whether it be just adding features to the existing hardware, or looking into other games. Are there other, titles that I want to put out that would help out and those sort of things. So
yeah,
things are moving. I can't. I've learned my lesson, and so I've made it a point not to mention anything to the public and just keep working. You know what I mean? That way, if something, if I get hit by a bus and it never gets released, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So.
It's also your solution was going to be kind of like a multi-game kind of a thing too in the future, right? Where you can swap.
Yeah,
out
I mean,
games.
exactly, right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You can play Galaga with it.
Mr. Pooh,
Mr. Pooh,
Mr. Pooh with the steering wheel.
Fire with the pedal.
I don't know. I heard that game kind of stinks.
No, the shifter.
Mr. Pooh remix would be great.
Imagine that.
So Adam, I got a weird
so
question
hard to
for you regarding that. Would you ever sell the IP or work to someone else so they can work on it?
So that's an interesting story. So some of the IP I got from Mike J, who worked on the FPGA arcade platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first started off, it was a huge undertaking to deal with all the Namco customs. And so I kind of went down that path. And then I realized in talking to Mike that he had already gone down that path, and he did a bunch of customs. And there was a guy, Wolfgang, I think, from Germany or from somewhere in Europe, and he had done some Namco customs as well, because he did the Galaga hardware on the FPGA. I think he might have been the first guy to do it. So we all collaborated together and said, all right, we're all working with these Namco titles. They all involve the Namco customs. Let's share all of our IP with the understanding that at some point in time, we'll release it to the public. So that was my agreement, and I'm a man of my word, so I have to stand by that. So at some point, the pole position FPGA source will be released as open source to the public, with the exception of the Z8000 CPU. So that is proprietary. I don't own the rights to that. I was blessed by someone who allowed me to use that, so it will be without that IP.
And what about like the PCB Gerber files, or whatever, to print
that stuff? I don't know. I never talked to Clay about releasing that kind of stuff, so I don't know. I'm guessing not. But I mean, if someone had their hands on the pole position, source, and they wanted to create their own, Z8002.
Yeah, but I'm
software.
probably just
They
speaking in terms of like 5+ years later, anyways. From now, right? Something like
Right,
that.
right.
So, all right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah,
Is
that source eventually will be out there.
Is John still doing the interface?
No, John had a ton of stuff going on his end too, and so I took some ideas from him. He came up with the whole idea of like using
go.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Thank you for coming.
Man, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, Happy New
Good
Year.
seeing you.
I love that.
Wait, Mike.
You're indivisible. If
I
I'm
didn't want to
working late, you
interrupt. I'm
gotta work
sorry.
late.
Sorry.
You can't work late. I can't work late. If I can't work late, I can't work late.
Is it wrong?
What's a very love you
Scrooge.
guys.
Scrooge.
Thank you, man.
By our man.
Very nice printing, Man-O-Man, by the way.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was. It was very nice.
Was it Ariel or?
He had the wife do it.
That was a good accent. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh yeah,
so John got really busy with everything, didn't he? He's got like 5 podcasts now, and
I'm not. Yeah, I haven't synced up with him for a while since COVID, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But I know that prior to that, he had a ton of stuff going on, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why he stopped doing his videos for a while. He just needed a break. Work was picking up for him, family stuff too. And so like me, he had to take a step back. And so, but early on in pole position, I did kind of share, we kind of talked a little bit about some different ideas for the interface. And so he was the one who actually came up with the idea of using the wheel to kind of, select, which game to play and that. So I did incorporate that, but the menu that you've seen so far and the videos that has the cars, I mean, that was all done by me. Writing Z80 code in C, and then using custom graphics for some of the displays. But here's a general question, I guess, to you guys. Like, do you think it's useful, or do you think that it's worth having that kind of interface, or do you think it's better to just, because you're really just switching between pole position 1 and 2? So do you think it makes sense to go from pole position 1 to the menu, then choose pole position 2, go to pole position 2, or just have it switch between?
Only if there's other options. If you're just swapping between 2 games, I think it's better to have like something like hold down the gas pedal and like do something, with the shifter or something like that to
default
switch.
to a game that you want, and then if you want to hold down start and gas pedal for X amount of seconds, then it brings up the menu, and then you can switch from there.
Yeah,
right.
Some of that,
or just instantly switch.
Or if there are soft,
if it's only 2,
soft dips that you want to allow people to be able to modify in menu, then having a simple menu for that is great.
Yeah.
But beyond that, for like users, you want to make it as simple as possible.
Right.
For
like left on the wheel, up on the joystick, on the shifter, right on the wheel, down on the shifter.
The Konami code. You got to do like left, right, shift up, shift down, pedal.
Or you have to spin the wheel 360 one way, like a lock, and then back.
Treat it like a combination. You got to go to like 36.
Like you're cracking a safe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could put some Easter eggs in there for sure.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
Make it
during the middle of a game, Adam's face pops up, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
No, if you do that, then all the billboards turn into your face.
There you go.
You could put like sound stamps with like back laugh or quotes.
Jesus.
Oh man, I would love to put like one of your own signs.
Pedal.
For one
You're
circuit
taking notes now.
Pedal.
That's
Shifter
cool.
pedal,
And that's kind of like the that Cinematronics multi-vector. I have that one, and in order to switch games or go to the menu, like there's different combinations, and I can never remember which is the button. And the switching of the games doesn't work very well. So it works maybe one every 3rd or 4th time. So like I had to write it down. So
you know what? What about just Clay's Star Wars? Button inside the coin door and switches. Just done.
Well, yeah. I mean, the way that this works is, I know I'm so experienced with the hardware, not only the hardware, but with the code itself for the game, because I've been staring at it for 10 years, that I was able to basically reverse engineer where the game is. Is it in attract mode? Is it playing right now? Is it saving the high scores? All that other stuff. And so using that information, I can use that to allow the person to press a pedal and have it do what I want it to do. So if you're in a track mode and you tap the pedal, it'll just coin up the game and play the game. But if it's in a track and you hold the pedal down for longer than a second, it brings you right to the menu. And so, knowing where the game is at any point in time gives me the ability to, use something simple like the pedal, but have it do different things depending on what's going on in the middle of the game.
That's cool.
That's a good idea.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So if you put a percentage
simple.
on your project completion, are you about like 80-90% done with it though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say you're really far.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the design, like the reverse engineering of the hardware, that's been done, and that's been done for a long time.
Yeah.
Getting it to switch between games and saving high scores, all of that's been done. Now it's really just down to the final steps of getting the PCB, the final revision of the PCB laid out, and then getting the finishing touches. Yes, it selects between both games seamlessly, but 0.01% of the time, you might be playing a game and it brings you to the main menu, right? So like that kind of stuff bothers me. I don't want to send out, or sell, I should say, hundreds of these things and then have people coming back with issues because I have a full-time job and I can't deal with that kind of stuff. So I really need to make sure that it's dead nuts.
Well,
no beta versions, a stable release.
Yeah,
right.
Everybody on this call, Adam, volunteers as a beta tester. So just
I'll test it out in my Cheyenne. I'll let you know.
There's one guy on Facebook. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It escapes me. But we did talk. He is currently the world record holder, I think, for every track on position 2.
I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name. Dave, I want to say. But him and I have been talking, and that's the kind of guy that I need to kind of proto the hardware, because I mean, as I am as intimate with the hardware, he is with the gameplay itself. Like, he'll know if it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? He'll know if the sound is off or whatever. The little minute stuff. That's what that's the kind of feedback I need from him.
It's like Crafty with his nibbler.
Crafty and nibbler, yeah.
Yep.
Adam, I think you were talking about Dan.
Dan, yeah, you go. Yeah. That
Dan
guy.
Yam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is.
Yeah, I've seen his videos, man. He's impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he holds every single title, right, for on Twin Galaxies for pole position 2. I don't know about 1. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, the guy's an animal. Pole position 2.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, that's the latest.
Cool.
That's a damn good update. Thank you.
Sure.
See you next year for next year.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you later, guys.
All right. Happy 2021. Yeah.
We'll do this again next December.
And I'll be like, well, we're at 91% now.
That's the one good thing about COVID, I guess, is that I there was a bit of time there where I had nothing to do aside from work and kind of just sit at home, and so I had my list of things to start knocking off, the little bugs and little things that bothered me from pole position, and so I was able to go through my list and knock most of those off. So
sweet.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
One thing I've done during COVID is expand my t-shirt size, we'll say.
Yeah, expand my liquor supply.
Yeah.
Should have bought stock and liquor. I'm sure everybody would have made a mint.
Oh yeah.
I went to Total Wine before the show, and it was a fucking circus. It reminded me of going to Costco, and I hate going to Costco for the
holidays
parking
are coming
lot.
up and New Year, so like this is like heavy alcohol time.
Yeah.
Especially.
And we've got there's a winter storm warning that's the storm is supposed to hit tomorrow, so I think a lot of people were up for that too.
You gotta stock up and stay warm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man's got to do something to keep warm.
Little brandy does.
Jingle bells. This brandy's really good. Carrie, I got that Jake Carver, that fancy stuff that we were.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's all by
You
itself.
waited till
It's
you
really
left,
good.
though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Yeah.
We're typically not brandy drinkers. I wanted to buy a fancy bottle of brandy for my grandpa who turned 90 in November, and he drinks a lot of brandy.
We just
He
how we
turned
got to
90.
be 90.
He drinks a lot of brandy.
Yeah. So I'm like, let's, and he normally drinks like the cheap stuff, like the, was it the E and J?
E&J, yeah.
Oh, Jay Carver is
Yeah,
local.
and he makes, I mean, basically he puts like a splash of Sprite or 7-Up in there, like a splash
for
just
color?
for good measure or something. Yeah. But
a slight effervescence.
so I'm like,
you don't feel like a total drunk.
Yeah,
So I'm like-
exactly, precisely. That's
so I'm
why
like,
you put that's why you put an
why don't I
olive in
get
your
him a real
martini.
fancy bottle of brandy? So we went when we were at Total Wine. We were looking and it was between two bottles, and I got him this one that looked really good that they recommended, and then but I was toying with the notion of getting this other one that's a local distillery, and that was a little bit more, and I was like, my parents, we kind of partially exchanged gifts already. Christmas is complicated this year with us, but my parents gave me basically like one of those Visa gift cards, like a credit card thing, and I basically spent it all there. So I was like, well, while I'm if I'm going to be doing this, it's a gift. Why not? I'll splurge and I'll get this fancy bottle of brandy, even though I'm going to be mixing it with eggnog. But it's really fucking good all by itself. I might have to have some on the rocks.
You get the Island View or the apple brandy by them?
Oh, they do a nice
Island View.
Okay, I just looked at
That's their.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's apparently this is the first year that they did the Island View brandy, and it's like a limited thing or whatever. Actually, they only had one bottle left there.
What does it run? Like $30-$40 a bottle?
Yeah, it's like 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine outer staters can't purchase from them, so probably have to talk to you, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Me and Carrie have been out to their distillery a few times, and they make really good stuff all around. We really like their bourbon a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of fun varieties of things. And I've had their apple brandy before because they did that during one of the tastings. And good. And what they had like some. I'm trying to remember what like some sort of Germany kind of sounding liquor, like it. Yeah, it's.
Oh, Aquavit.
Yes, Aquavit or something like that. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
they I think they did that one, and there's been some cool
Oh,
things
that
they
looks
put out.
cool.
It's a fun place. We did a gin tasting there one time.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff. Same with Tattersall, which we have. Yeah.
And wait, these places are open for the public?
No,
well,
no, this is
not
back
right
in the
now.
old days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in 2019.
Oh, shit.
Back when people weren't zooming every day. Yeah.
Can you imagine all the babies born? They're going to be called COVID babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, Generation C. Gen C.
There we go.
CV.
Yeah.
It wasn't a knock at it. It was just
that's also the Generation D for all the divorces that probably happened.
Way to bring us down, Dave.
Yeah, although I think a lot of
Dave.
that's waiting until certainly the family courts do seem to be busy.
Yeah.
But I think that it's going to be after things open back up that then we'll see the divorce rates skyrocket. Yeah, because people right now don't feel. I think they feel literally trapped because
it's trapped. You can't get. You can have a hard time getting a house, getting out.
Yeah,
all kinds
Getting a
of
job if you didn't
exactly.
have one.
Yeah, and
a lot of jobs
I mean,
are
not to
gone.
bring it down even more, but of course, in the
I'm sure
area
your
the courts I work
$600
in.
check coming ain't gonna really help much.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
like
$600.
domestic violence is. There's
I'll buy
all
6
sorts of
bottles of $100
issues
whiskey.
going on. Yeah.
Mock, are you still run down? You sound a little still under the weather.
Oh yeah, I'm getting through my allergies. It's they're almost gone. But yeah, it's been rough this time of year. Probably the worst ever.
Have you had rains at all to help wash some of that stuff out of the air?
We got a machine thing to clear the air, clean the air and stuff like that.
Air
But
purifier
it's-
kind of thing?
Yeah, we have that running in the bedroom and stuff. That helps.
Or even a
But yeah,
electric air cleaner, like in your
but
furnace.
I had,
or...
yeah, for over 2 weeks it was really bad. It's just, yeah, it feels like you're.
I
Just
could
have
hear
a
him
really
breathing
bad
in my
flu.
house like 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
I didn't know you lived near him, Keith. I didn't know.
Yeah. No, when did I
Just
come
over
over,
the hill.
Steve? I came over couple weeks ago,
yeah.
man, he was just like crying.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Like, we're just talking, Steve. We're just talking.
What is it? What are the allergies like? You guys are in California, so I don't understand. Like, what is?
We have these winds that fly
then we
through.
had fires. We had fires.
The
so we had
fires
lots
are
of
like
ash.
really high winds
in the air. And
Move to Buffalo, you won't feel any of
that.
that shit. It'll just be
The
so
winds blow
goddamn
in
cold.
these-
Yeah.
Your
Or to
face is
Canada.
numb and you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was showing Keith some VR Quest 2 Alex, Half-Life Alex, which if you guys don't know what that is sort of a is that a continuation of Half-Life 2, would you say, Andrew?
It's a new one, but it's all VR though.
It's all pre Half-Life 2.
Pre-Half-Life,
It's a prequel.
Mark, do you have the Oculus Quest 2?
Yeah, I got an Oculus Quest 2, which I love.
Yeah, that's on my to-buy list, yeah.
Because it gets rid of the sensors. You don't need
Persuaded
the
Andrew.
sensor
His is on
towers.
order, right?
And
So I was actually, I think I texted Steve earlier today, and I was like, I sold my old phone for $200, and I got $50 from my work for like, I don't know, like a weird. We can't do Christmas parties this year, so here, have a $50 gift card.
Okay.
I was like, all right, that puts me $49 away from
Quest.
Buying a Quest.
Yeah.
And upgrading from my old Oculus to a Quest 2, and it's like,
So there's a cool, yeah, no, you definitely should get it.
I had him
well, I like
sold
the
the other
improvements.
It's the head strap thing. We got to talk about that. The Franken
One
hat.
of the things I really like about it.
Did you look it up?
Not yet.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
There's multiple cameras, so it does hand tracking. It even does hand tracking without the things that you hold. You can select things, and it actually tracks your fingertips. So you can select menus in there with just your hands. But one of the best features in it, though, is if you need to see, you don't have to always take off your goggles. If you tap twice on it, pump, the cameras come on, and you can see through the cameras. So you can see, there's my.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that's a good feature.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So and it's wireless for a lot of the games, so you can play Super Hot in your living room or bring it to a friend's house.
I love Super Hot. That's
Super Hot's amazing.
Robo Recall, my two favorites for those.
Oh, Robo Recall, yeah, that's another really good one. And that's also free, Robo Recall, to download wireless.
Yeah.
So there's certain games that run on your PC because they're high end. So if you're gonna play Star Wars Squadrons, that's a PC game. You got to use the link cable, which I still have my link cable for that.
Or wireless.
No, you can't play. Well, there is a method to do wireless through the virtual desktop, but there is slight latency. But I'm going to let Keith experiment and see if it's worth doing. We did do Andrew, myself, and Gabby and Josh
and Jake.
We had a
and
bunch of
Horde.
people. We all played. We all played Squadrons, and to get everybody familiar with the controls and everything, we just did all of us as a group against the Empire AI, the computer. But you take down capital ships and star destroyers, and there's a back and forth tug of war type of game play when
Take
you
your
play that
drama,
way.
man.
Oh, it's a blast. Andrew and I know. Oh, I can't hear you, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, so you don't even have to play it in VR. You can play it just like on your screen, but it's way better in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
And it's
you gotta come
crossplay
join
too,
us
so you can
for
play
that.
with VR and non-VR players.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So this
It's not actually.
And it's
Leo, if
and
you
it's on
want
sale
it,
for like
it's-
$14 right
It's
now.
still on sale right now.
Oh,
It's
really?
super cheap.
Squadrons. Just add it to
Yeah,
your.
you don't have to have VR.
Add to
That's
your Steam
VR is an
store.
option.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
upgraded,
I got
yeah.
a Steam account. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's
If
on
you-
sale still right now. It was.
$14 is a steal for that game. It's
What
the
game?
sound design is amazing. The
Wars
graphics are really
Squadrons.
good.
Oh.
It's
Andrew, I
always
think
in
you said
cockpit.
crossplay, and I heard cosplay. So I'm like envisioning
heard
you guys
cosplay.
dressing
I
up
heard
in
cosplay.
costumes.
You see my
I'm
helmets,
like
right?
the VR, VR plus costumes. I'm like, oh, now that sounds like good time.
Yeah.
So there is a
It's on sale
benefit.
for 23.
Sounds warm.
VR players have an advantage playing in VR though, because if you're in the cockpit and a ship flies over you, instead of trying to maneuver your
can look
ship
up.
to see it, you can look behind and then turn your ship to follow and keep it in your eyesight the whole time.
If you're
and take 'em out.
playing
VR.
Republic ships.
Yeah,
that doesn't work so well in the
TIE fighters. You're looking
Empire
straight
ships.
ahead. Those
Yeah.
are such a horrible field of view. I don't know who.
This stupid tunnel vision.
Yeah, you
even
have
in
to-
VR, it's hard.
you can track a ship and you'll still see it through the ship. You know, you'll still see the icon, but still, it's still you'd rather be able to see it. You know, but I don't know. But no, it's super fun. We've been having a blast playing that. So benefits of getting a Oculus Quest 2 is screen door effect almost gone. Twice the resolution of my old Oculus Rift.
90 hertz.
Yeah, it's faster. They've upped the hertz on it. It's wireless. A lot of the games are
It
wireless.
hurts more.
It does hurt a little more.
It has more hertz.
It hurts. I upgraded my strap.
Dude is a mohawk.
So
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the new
Oh, okay.
strap
Got
for
it.
it. I
Yeah,
put a
right over.
counterweight. I put my Gears of War metal.
It actually looks really badass.
What
Oh,
goes in that
Get to
hole?
the front of the
Oh,
line
that's
whenever you get on the
awesome.
bathroom run that
Hey,
way.
Steve,
That's
hold on.
Yeah,
Steve, show-
leave a
show
dent in
Andrew
your
the
forehead for that.
adapters.
Looks cool.
Oh, the adapters.
Wait, I'll do the
are
seizure-inducing one. There we go.
Yeah.
right here. If you can see this little plastic
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I'll catch up with the two of you separately to take a look at that stuff more detailed.
Yeah.
But this new rig, now that I've put a counterweight on the back, I used my old Gears of War metal thing that I got.
And I
don't
found the
use it for
proper
anything.
battery pack for that, Steve, and I have the files to print the battery pack for it as well. If you wanted to
Oh,
use the battery
okay.
pack, it's
See,
23
the battery
bucks.
pack only works for stuff when you're wireless, though, so it would just
Right.
be a counterweight for that battery. But anyway, this is great because you have a dial here to bring this in or out, so it makes it. And these little earphones that you
The
don't
construction
normally have.
helmet.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say
so-
that's just
Yeah.
like construction.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great rig. So that's that's actual a Vive head strap, but you 3D print the adapter clips, but you can get those on Etsy if you don't have a Keith to print them. Speaking
Everybody
of which,
needs a Keith.
This broke, by the way. Thank God I had the backup. So,
I told that's why I made multiples of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna redesign that one and make my own anyways. So
Okay, so when you do, let me know because I'm running on the. I mean, if it breaks again, I'll just loop another Velcro.
yeah, no, I'm gonna
loop
put a
through
full
it.
bar across it and loop it. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Into the tabs. That's fine.
Yeah,
Because they're not as smart as you,
yeah.
Keith.
Yeah.
That's definitely on the purchase list for the
It's
next couple weeks. I
there's
want
a-
to get the bigger the
$400 one. That's
Yeah.
that's what this is. It's a
Okay,
400.
I
So-
would venture towards that just because the game
More
size and the
wireless
resolutions.
Yeah, and it's
are
$100 more.
growing.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
So-
It's and
You
I've
can put
played
more
that at,
games on it.
I've
That's
played that
all
at
it
PAX
is.
the past like 4 or 5 years. It's a great system. So
Yeah. So you still have the option to play the high res games on a on a PC, but if you want to take it to a friend's house, you can show them Super Hot. You can play Robo Recall. You can play The Climb. That's the 3 Star Wars episodes they made that are Oculus only. You can't play it on anything else.
Yeah. The Vader Immortal.
Yeah, and I think
Darth Vader Immortal, which is pretty fun. I like
you
that.
have just like it's the stock system on the 64 gig. It's you have low 40s or high 30s actual available space, all said and done. It
Yeah,
was
it's like-
something pretty low. So think about that if
Yeah.
you're looking.
It's like
at
53
Is it
megabytes is
53?
what I had on mine. Yeah.
Okay, available.
Or
Yeah.
on what I've read.
Okay.
Because I got the 400. So
Yeah, I'll probably opt for that just for future use.
But I do play mostly wired games because I like playing
Say, I'm gonna
Star Wars. Yeah,
I'm gonna go cheap and knowing that I'm gonna have to upgrade the thing in a couple years anyway. So
Yeah, true.
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And nothing's
next
really
gen.
available till like mid next month, Andrew.
Oh yeah, I'm not in super hurry. So yeah, good to know.
How are they sold out everywhere?
Yeah, it's like January 14th. I looked today because I was going to say,
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
going to go ahead and order it. But you know what? I'm
didn't
not
know
till
they
the
sold out.
14th, and I'm probably going to be gone half of next month traveling. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm just going to wait till I get back.
Yeah.
Oculus has said it's been a great seller, so that's awesome.
both of
I'm
them, the first
seeing everybody
and
into
this
VR.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
both Oculuses have
Like
the
I was
first-
telling Andrew, the only thing that's
Mm.
held me back is I don't have the room because my desk is in the corner of the office, and Melinda's desk is here. I don't have the room for the lighthouses and I'm it's just. But then it was like, hey, it's wireless, it's tracking inside out, and then
you don't need the dumb towers.
the
Fuck the towers.
Hate the towers.
The ability to do it wirelessly, which is fucking phenomenal, because I'm redoing my office here. I'm getting new router set up. I'm going to do the new Netgear Ace. God, what is it?
Wi-Fi 6 stuff.
Yeah, with the three satellites.
Mm-hmm.
So I can put one in the garage, one in the bottom in the living room, and then one up in my server rack that's going in the closet the next week or so. And so I'll have Wi-Fi 6 everywhere, and I can do wireless. So I can go down to the garage where I've got plenty of ample room, and I can play everything that's on, PC down there. And another thing I was going to tell you, Andrew, is there's also an app when you're doing it Wi-Fi that you can cast it to a tablet or a phone, so you can see what's going on
as a secondary monitor
with not having to be in front of the monitor.
Right, that's nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So when
So
you're
I'm
teaching
curious-
somebody,
Yeah.
Oh, you can see what they're doing.
You can see what they're doing on screen, which actually is a really big help, because it is nice in front of the PC, because it's like, when I've walked people through like demos of games, it's like, oh,
what do you see?
They're stumbling around or having a difficult time. It's like I can look on the screen and go see exactly what they're doing. And it's like, all right, well, look down. It's right up there.
Yeah, so
I'm curious.
Yeah, the streaming to the phone is awesome to be able to see what they're seeing. You can do that anytime, and I love that feature. That's something the Rift didn't have. You had to be at the computer to see
At
what
the
they're
computer,
seeing.
yeah.
Yeah, but
it had to be
streaming,
tethered
it doesn't
anyway.
slow it down or anything. Yeah, it's like tethered. Yeah, in a way. I just posted a link in IRC for the Star Wars Squadrons VR, just so people can see what I'm talking about. If you ever wanted to feel the feeling of flying in an X-wing, I mean, it is.
And watching that video doesn't
amazing.
do it justice until
It doesn't.
you put a headset on.
And you really feel like you're
just
looking out.
You have to know,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
If you've experienced VR, it'll make sense. But
Yeah.
if you haven't done it before, it's pretty fucking amazing. I'm curious too, like Keith, if you do the extra battery pack, like what the actual battery time you get, because I know that like
Depends on the size of the battery.
2.5 hours to
Two
2.5 hours.
2.5. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
that's a good long game session, because I just know
There's a
we
really
we
big
had
battery
some-
pack though. It's like 8 hours. It's the Vive one.
Well, you
Have seen
get
that one,
you get
Keith?
you get 2+ hours out of the headset to begin with.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
And
can
then
only
you put
play
it-
for about an hour anyway.
And then you put a battery on there, and you can get 5 hours.
Okay, that's solid.
But a lot
But
of people
not
add
if
the
you're playing
battery
Star
just for
Wars.
the balance.
Well, no, I'm saying
balance up the headset too.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that's solid. But I was just thinking about like the other night, like when we were playing, and like Abby had to like the problems,
switch it
all the
back to
battery's
the-
dead, and then like no, it's like and then it's like a
You said she puked with the VR.
It was. She
I didn't know
started
if she
playing.
did
It was already low.
yeah, okay.
Was she playing?
that would be really
wirelessly?
frustrating.
Did she plug it in?
Well, James has been playing it, so when she got
Oh.
to it, it was already been played for an hour or so. So she
Yeah,
was on for
that'll do
about
it.
45 minutes, and then it died. So when you have it plugged in, it slowly drains. It doesn't fully charge it because it's running through that USB power.
Oh, so
nut.
the USB-C
outlet.
won't.
It charges it, but slow.
No, you
So,
can't.
right
run it
now
off
it's
USB.
charging
You
it.
can't run it off USB-C. Then, essentially, is what you're saying. That's what I'm asking.
You can't run it. No, it has to be charged, pre-charged. Yeah, because it does drain with even while it's plugged in.
Even while it's tethered
Power.
and you're playing the PC.
Yes.
So
Still
theoretically,
drains.
you could be
Slow, though.
playing. But like, unlike like the like the current Rift, like you could be playing and then all of a sudden like your battery's dead and you're done playing, even though it's plugged in. You see
Or
what I'm saying?
it just
On the
could
Rift?
be the amperage on
Rift
the
doesn't have
port that you're
battery.
using.
That's what I'm saying though. The Rift will never, obviously, the Rift never dies. It would say-
The Rift had two plugs too. It had one. It had the HDMI plug and a USB plug.
No,
so
I
this
know.
new one is just HDMI 3, and that's
But
it.
what I'm saying is, it's like,
USB-C.
yeah. All that aside, what I'm saying is like if I'm playing and I'm tethered to my PC and I'm just like
Shouldn't die.
playing,
It never died.
it'll
Mine
never die.
did.
Okay.
No.
That was my question. It sounded like
Yeah,
you were
this
saying
one
like,
will.
it will drain down and then the battery's dead. And
Yeah,
then
you heard
but
the same
it's
thing
so
I heard.
slow.
You'll never play. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
It's like 4 hours probably, But like
Yeah.
I said, you can only play VR for about an hour or so until your eyes start hurting and your head starts hurting, and it's a little uncomfortable.
I played Alex and other VR games for multiple hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Once you
You know,
get used to it.
my only problem is my eyes get sweaty.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Anyway, we've
It's-
talked
it's-
VR for way.
Yeah.
probably too
Anyway,
long.
VR, Star Wars Squadrons, big thumbs up, 9.5 out of 10 for me. I just wish they had. I'm glad they added 2 new ships too. That's kind of fun. They added the B wings and the what was the other one? The advanced
TIE Defender.
fighter?
TIE
TIE
Defender.
Defender. That's from the.
Were those free?
That's
Or
yes.
they
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
good.
Everything's been
It's all
free
free.
so far. They added a new map too. So, but super fun. So we have our gaming night on Thursdays, but we probably won't do it this Thursday because of the holiday. But
Probably not, but at the same time, like game nights almost turned into like almost a 7-day-a-week thing over there.
anytime you want to show up.
I noticed that too.
I usually only join on Thursdays really to play, but yeah, there's almost always someone in that channel playing games.
Yeah. And of course, movie night Saturdays.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Sorry about passing out last week. I literally fell asleep in my chair. I totally pulled like a Steve Barbie. Like
I was totally wondering why you were so quiet. I'm like, this is weird.
And I was leaning back
that
in
on
this
movie night?
chair. Yeah, movie night.
Yeah.
Oh, you
What
fell
movie?
asleep.
What movie
I was
was
out.
playing when he slept?
In a chair,
Second
and, like,
movie, I was out.
At some point, my headphones kind of slipped down here, and I woke up like this at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh damn! God.
My neck was killing me.
What
And
time
I was
did you
like,
fall asleep at? You think?
I don't
Where
know.
am I?
All right,
What
so
happened?
I fell asleep during Christmas vacation,
Christmas?
and it was before they went to the mall. It was right. I think
Oh
it was,
shit,
it
that's
was
early.
It was it was when Clark was watching movies after he gets stuck up in the attic
That's the boringest part too.
in the little with
Obviously.
the little pink turban from his grandma. Yeah, after he'd fallen through the floor. Like I remember that part, and then him. Before that, I remember him pushing out the little window and being like, "Helen!" Screaming out the window when they're pulling away.
Yeah.
And he's checking the bulbs. But yeah, after that, I done.
Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
As Sunday morning, I come in, turn on the computer. It's about 7-ish my time, and I look over and wait a minute. Why are we still broadcasting?
I'm sure it was. Yeah, it was going the whole. Yeah.
All I see is your Plex server.
I literally like woke up. My monitor was like had gone to sleep. The computer obviously wasn't. I just like threw my like headphones on my desk and like stumbled in the bed and just. So yeah, I turned it off sometime the next morning.
Remember how you said why do we get gaming chairs? Headrests.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is a great office chair, but it's not. It doesn't have like the Recaro like shoulder grab you things and stuff like that for. Yeah. Plus mine would have to be like a lot.
Yeah, you have to be like supersized. Yeah.
Like 2 of them.
It's poking me in the shoulders.
And don't get the model I got.
What attachment is that?
That's the armrest.
Oh,
okay.
Chair.
Jeez.
And the bolts sheared off.
Hey, Dave, look, I'm Amazing Larry. From
Dave walked
Pee-wee.
away as soon as you said that.
As soon as I said that, he's like, I've had enough.
I'm
I'm
done.
out.
I need another Bud Light. Let's
Going
go.
for a cigarette.
Exactly.
He's going out for the old-fashioned pee on the lawn.
Oh, it's
Pee on the
12:55. It's
snowbank.
going to be a poker break, so I get 5 minutes to go pee and to get a drink.
He's got
Brody
3
pizza
games
just showed
going
up.
right now.
Exactly.
Domino's just rang the doorbell.
Nice.
Oh, Domino's.
Now he's gonna do some push-ups for us. The eggnog is flowing. Although the one good thing about drinking eggnog is that it's filling.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
filling.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 calories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100. Well, I didn't look what the serving size was, but all I looked at was
Kind of
170
limit how much you can
calories.
drink with that too. He's like, oh god, I
Does he add
guess I can't drink
Kahlua with that
anymore.
or
Oh, I feel like I just had like a second dinner, so it's like it's a good way of like slowing things down a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
or it gets
It's
too
like
off the
100
rails.
calories per tablespoon.
How many eggs are in eggnog?
All of them.
None.
Yeah, grandma made a
eggs?
lot.
Well, the one that he's drinking, not.
Gross! There's eggs and eggnog.
All right, by a
Is
show
it-
of
is it a-
hands, anyone
is it a
else
dozen?
here had eggnog vomit bubbles come out of their nose?
Oh God, no!
Prove it.
You raised your
Okay.
hand reluctantly.
Picture
There's
didn't
gonna be a
happen.
story here. Let's go.
It is after all the Christmas show.
It is, yeah.
Let's talk about Christmas throw-up stories.
Let's hear the story.
He's been waiting all night to eke that in.
Yeah.
So what's the best alcohol to mix with eggnog?
None.
Whiskey.
Yeah, bourbon.
See,
Yeah,
I'm
either
using-
brandy or whiskey.
Either brandy or whiskey, yeah. Something's in the brown.
Well, and brandy isn't brandy a kind of? Oh no,
Whiskey?
I guess because that's made of
Yep.
grapes.
Yeah, brandy's made from fruit, and
I
the
tried it
whiskey's
with
made from grains.
Kahlua.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, Kahlua, I mean,
interesting.
yeah.
Kahlua is good.
Kahlua and eggnog was really good with some. Cut it with a little milk. It's
It's
good.
not very boozy.
You
No,
don't really
that's-
need
that-
to cut it with anything else.
That's very low alcohol kind of version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about you want real alcohol.
Well, no, I mean,
that was
but
my wife version.
Bailey's is like what, like 30 proof or something like that?
It's not
20
that-
proof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to
it's-
drink the whole bottle to feel it.
Yeah.
Then you throw up, have bubbles out of your nose.
I'm sure that's in a lot of people's coffees nowadays on Zoom.
And speaking of which, actually, I just got a message from Discord. They're playing Squadrons tonight.
Yeah, they're playing. Saw that. Jesse's just started it up.
So there you
Wait, they're
go.
not watching the show? What?
A few- no, a bunch of them do.
Busted.
They're just listening.
She doesn't. Like, I mean, Jesse's like a D&D tie-in. She's never part of the show.
Have you guys ever played the
I know.
Jackbox games on
I
there,
was
like
kidding.
the party packs? The Jackbox party. Those are fun little.
Those are fun. I haven't played them in a long time.
Yeah,
Party
I've done
games.
those.
We really need to do virtual Cards Against Humanity one night.
Ooh.
I mean, we could do that in Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
me and Orange
Everybody
Whip,
have to
I
have their
think,
own
tested
set.
that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Actually, that would be tricky because we'd end up with some duplicates there too.
Oh,
Everyone writes their own. Yeah.
masturbate with
Anybody
tears.
tried,
Yeah. I've heard it.
There's a spin-off of that game called a Smackdown Challenge. I bought that a couple years ago, where it's you do wrestling promos, and it's like you have like a character that you have to do. It's pretty that's pretty interesting. The more you drink, the funnier that game gets too. Like
I think
all
we
the
would have
Tetris
wrestling
games, too.
characters though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you draw two names. So it'll be like, the Hawaiian Mexican. It'll be like, that's your character name. You got to do like a 30-second promo on the other person. So it's pretty. You can get fun at times if you.
From the land of avocados.
Exactly. Like this promotion is going to be at the Mall of
I think
Minnesota.
Keith's ready
You
to
have
play.
incorporate the stores into it. Be
Hold
like,
on, let me have another beer.
Exactly.
On it. Hold on.
So Crafty, there's a new game coming out soon, right?
There is. Probably, I think, Mr. Pooh. Mr. Pooh remix.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Pooh remix.
Mr. Pooh 2.
Uncle.
Oh, with corn.
New Electric Boogaloo. I like
That's
it.
the
Now with
underwater
corn. Yeah.
levels, right?
Yeah. now with visible peanuts.
No.
Sometimes he's nutty, sometimes he's corny.
Oh, no. Sounds like a jingle.
Hanky, the
It's
Christmas
Mr. Hanky.
tree.
Yeah.
Look, Galaga is going to be on the big
I
kit.
can only wear that so long like that.
I got rid of
on
my hat like a
Christmas
half
Eve
hour
day.
ago.
Oh, I had mine off before. Yeah, before
What's
that.
that?
Crafty, what'd you say?
Crafty?
It said Christmas Eve day, so the 24th. I'm going to release the Galaga update for the big kit.
I'm
Nice.
very excited about that,
Yeah.
Crafty, because I have a Galaga Cabaret that's running a 16-1 right now. That's the way I got it, and I'm like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
perfect.
So one thing I
You know?
saw you mention it was that this is a new like virtual hardware to develop that, right?
Yeah, it's it's the fourth platform that's on the
Platform.
BitKit. So the original BitKit, because of the way I ended up structuring it, only has room for 3 platforms because I made the mistake of getting a smaller flash chip when I probably should have gotten a larger one. But at the time, I was just putting 5 games on it, so it didn't seem that I would need a whole lot of space. So initially, Galaga will just work on the Bluetooth BitKits, the second generation board, because it has the bigger flash chip, so it has plenty of storage. But I'm going to add an extra option to the BitKit Manager software. So for the original BitKit, you can choose which of the 3 out of 4 platforms you want to have. So for most people, probably the one you'd get rid of would be the Nibbler platform, because there's only 5 games on that one. Whereas Pack and Galaxian has like Scramble Galaxian has like 18 games, I think now, and Pack has like 11. So
Pack is the one that has eyes, right?
And Pack has eyes, right? So
Okay.
that's just for the original USB version, where you have to make that. It's like a Sophie's Choice of BitKit, where you have to decide which
That's
one you
me.
want to get rid of. So, but if you have the Bluetooth BitKit, you don't have to worry, because that has plenty of room for the Galaga plus all the old stuff, and room for new stuff too. And then starting in January, I am going to be offering a little flash upgrade service for the original BitKits, where you can send your original BitKit back to me, and I'll change the flash chip out for the newer one that's larger, and update the firmware, and and test everything and send it back to you. So,
are you looking for beta testers for that? Because I can drive it down to you.
Sure.
Now that won't. Just to clarify, the new version has Bluetooth. The original version, the upgrade still will not have Bluetooth, though. Correct?
Right. Yeah, it just changes out the memory, and I have to update the BIOS, and then update the firmware. But yeah, and Gleek asked what would that cost, and I'm looking at doing that for $40. That includes return shipping.
That's great.
And you have to do that, Crafty, just to make everybody aware. Even if you could do SMT soldering, you can't just put a new chip on there, right? Because the firmware, you can have that all encrypted and stuff.
Well, yeah, no, in parts, yeah. So I do need to do it, because there's a security key that gets passed around on the BitKit, and so that has to be in the right places. So it has to be inside the flash chip. So yeah, I kind of have to do that. But
so for me,
that's why I'm
the
going to offer
kind of
it.
deciding factor is I've got a cabinet that's got an 8-way stick and 2 buttons, and then another cabinet that's a 4-way stick that has 1 button on the control panel currently, and then player 1, player 2 start. So it's kind of like deciding which group of 8-way versus 4-way. I can do 2-way on either game, right? On either joystick. But
sure.
I kind of need to look at that list. Someone did like a spreadsheet that has like all the, what controls, right?
Yeah, and actually, I can get it for you, because Mike Macastra.
Oh yeah.
He did that. He has that spreadsheet that breaks out the 8, 4, and 2-way games, 1 and 2 button.
Right.
So you can kind of figure out which way you want to do it.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's coming out, and so if you have a USB original BitKit after Christmas, I'll update the BitKit Manager software, so it has that feature where you can choose which platform you want to leave off, so you can squeeze Galaga in there. And you'll be able to upgrade. But
so thinking
but that's
down the line, like, is there a lot on that new 4th platform? Is there like a lot of games, or is just a small handful, or?
It's a small handful, but it's Galaga, it's Dig Dug, it's Xevious and Super Xevious.
Oh wow! Okay,
really,
awesome.
those are really the four big ones on that hardware.
Okay, awesome.
Here, I got a question for Adam. So you both have made your own FPGA boards. Is there any game that you would want to do an FPGA for in the future? Even if it was just a pipe dream?
Well, I've said it. Oh, you mean like just for myself, or like commercially?
Uncle Pooh.
I've said it before, and I think Adam would agree with me that.
I'm on board. Put me upstream, not downstream. Yeah, no, it's good for Uncle Pooh.
I think for me, the BitKit is probably like the pin. It's like the.
We're all gonna download it and play it on MAME right after this.
Let him finish, Jim. Let him finish.
The BitKit's probably the FPGA board for me. Like the one I'm gonna do because I'm sure Adam understands that in terms of ROI and investment, it's probably the worst possible thing you could do to create a commercial product.
Oh, I get that in my business too.
Is create an FPGA product just because of the amount of work and time it takes. Now, for the love of the hobby and just something I wanted to do personally, sure, I'd love to look at like a 16-bit, or those type of games that came later, because everything I've done is pretty early 8-bit. But I would definitely use like a dev board or an off-the-shelf FPGA board for that instead of creating my own hardware. But yeah, I won't be making another FPGA commercial board other than the BitKit, because it's been a great project, but it's like an incredible black hole that just sucks you inside the more time you spend on.
Adam, you got to follow up to that?
With Wi-Fi.
No, I totally agree. When I started doing the hardware for Pole Position Clone, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the exact hardware, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the Mr. FPGA platform and the Mr. So that platform was kind of evolving around the same time that I was doing the Pole Position Clone, and so and unfortunately it just took so long that hardware surpassed, and because it's sold at such high volumes, you can get it for smaller, or you can get it much cheaper than to roll your own system. So I agree. If I was going to do a game from a hardware perspective, I would obviously use my platform. If that platform reached end of life, then I would move on to some other main platform like the Mr. platform or something like that. Yeah. But I totally agree. As far as games, originally one of the main reasons why I did Pole Position was to make a buck, because it was one of the #1 classic games of that era, and it was a game that was on such problematic hardware. To me, it just seemed like a no-brainer. Like that was the one to go after. I was never into Pole Position. I wasn't a huge Pole Position fan. I always found the game too challenging for myself, but I looked at that as an opportunity to make some money. In hindsight, that's probably not the best way to do it. I think going forward, I probably would want to choose a game that I have a passion for, that I really enjoyed playing as a kid, or just have a love for, because that motivation I don't think will fade as quickly as some of the other ones, right? I mean, once you realize that you're not going to make out financially the way that you thought you would, your motivation tends to dwindle, if that was your main motivation, which it probably was for Pole Position. So I guess to answer that question, it's games that I have a passion for, games that I grew up playing and really enjoyed, or games that for me present a pretty good challenge. So I guess that part of Pole Position drove me too. There was a lot of reverse engineering that had to go into that, and that kind of stuff excites me, figuring out what the original developers had to do and what they were thinking, and doing that kind of stuff too. So yeah, games that present a challenge, and games that I have a love for, probably.
What are some of those games?
Awesome, appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess one of the platforms I should say is the Atari System 1 platform. Is that the one that does like
there's a multi for that now.
Is that the one that does Marble Madness, and it does so that one there, to be honest, that's one that I've been looking at kind of hard for a while now. That might be one of the next platforms that I target.
Well, they got a multi
that's just a multi though, but I think that and the System 2 games would just be phenomenal for an FPGA.
How similar are, from a hardware perspective, are System 1 and System 2?
What system is Galaga 88 on?
Namco.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Namco.
Yeah.
That's Namco System 1.
Oh.
Yeah,
the Atari System 1
is on that as well.
Yeah, System 1 Atari. I mean, that's it's Road Blasters and Roadrunner and stuff like that.
Yeah, Namco System 1 is Galaga 88, Splatterhouse,
720, Super Sprint, Champ Sprint,
yeah,
Paperboy.
Yeah, and those are all medium res games.
The other platform I was looking at
not
was
Super Sprint.
Isn't
really?
There,
oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It is medium res. I'm sorry, my bad.
Marble Madness. Isn't there a lot of Sega games that are also on the same platform?
Sega 16. I mean,
like Enduro Racer, and there's what's the other one? Enduro
Space Harrier.
Space Harrier. There's a few
Afterburner
of those
2.
Yeah, there's a few of those that are also on the same platform.
Yeah.
and those are problematic too. So I don't know. I tend to gravitate towards those boards that are getting harder to find, just because of reliability issues or whatever. I think some of those games, Enduro Racer, I want to say, and I forget what the other one is, the street bike racing counterpart. But they have like suicide battery issues. There's something with the hardware. Hang on, that's the one.
Don't
they have like suicide battery issues or something like that?
Yeah.
Makes it really hard to.
Super off roads that way too.
Yeah,
I mean, with Mister, you have so many more people that are developing. I mean, cores are almost. I mean, not coming out daily, but new cores are coming out often. I think a good opportunity for somebody would be to make an interface board for a Mister, to some controls on a 720, on a Paperboy, on a driving game, etc. It'd be really an off-the-shelf and a simple solution.
Yeah, and it wouldn't take much to do it, right? Because the 99% of the board is already laid out. It's commercial. You're just making the adapter for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys heard that J-Rock's making a Valley Midway multi, right? With like Gorf and Space App and Wizard of War and all that, right?
Oh, is he?
I
didn't hear anything from him forever.
Well, he's
kind of been silent for a long time.
And he talks about it. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's cool.
So, I don't know what hardware ETAs he's working on it. So.
I'm still waiting for a Berserk Frenzy board to show up for sale.
They're all sold out everywhere, Whip.
Actually,
I got the other ones. The other ones I got the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, next year, if I can find, I think the only game I'm looking after going to be seeking out is a Big Blue for my Street Fighter, and that'll be it for this living space. I'll be done because I have no more games that I would part with. So, and I have space for one last one.
If you knock out that brick wall behind you, I mean, you could put 4 games in there.
Yeah, he wants to see me like hit through a brick wall. It's really not all it looks like on the movies. Yeah,
easy.
It looks like it almost looks like drywall, kind of. Yeah.
I'm sure the neighbors behind you would love it.
Hi, neighbors.
Yeah. Actually, that goes
there's actually no one.
Yeah,
there's actually no one on the other side here. Yeah.
The refrigerator in your kitchen, just roll it out on your deck. And you got a spot for a game right there.
Yeah, for a few months, it is a refrigerator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the door open.
An extension cord. Yeah, there you go.
Not a Kool-Aid costume, that's okay.
That's true.
Yeah, no, then I'm done.
Frozen.
Then it's just decorating. Get some signs and other stuff to put on and fill in all the walls, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, that'll be it for this living space until I'm out of here, whenever that is.
Oh, you're moving to California?
What? COVID's 2020 has been a really strange year.
She would have spit her drink out if she was.
Yep.
Shit, they
I think there's some places to rent because there's a lot of people moving out of California. So
Yeah, I know. We got a lot of vacancies. Come on over.
The taxes are great here. Come on up.
It's called the Sunshine Tax.
Mock and
the tax state. That's the official license plate.
Extension on the garage.
Yeah.
Come on, Jim. You gotta love the weather. Like you've been going back and forth. Like you have to be like, "Fuck, it's so much warmer here." Like, don't you ever land and like, "Oh, this is so nice." I mean, you love tight t-shirts. You like to show off the guns. I mean, you got in Minnesota, you can't show them off. You know, it's winter. It's like
below that part.
You gotta get a transparent coat. Yeah, like a clear plastic.
A transparent coat. That's great.
There's
the
no
Minnesota gun coat.
Yeah.
We'll sell it to Jim Bodini and Fetish Boy.
No, it's shit, what were we talking about?
I was just saying how nice California is.
Yeah, exactly. The one.
No, it's consistently nice. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
And that's the Bay Area. Why don't you come down to San Diego? We'll show you some nice weather.
Oh,
34.
I do like having 4 distinct seasons, though.
Bob from the
their winter might as well be their spring. You know, it's like
fuck seasons.
Yeah.
Keith, I like to say we just pick the best two and stick with them.
It's 23 degrees right now. Trust me, fuck seasons. All right.
Seasons can suck it.
Exactly.
Let's shovel
When we want snow, we visit it.
Yeah.
I don't shovel, man. I got a machine to do. It's
ago.
called a
Let's go to Mammoth.
snowblower.
I'll view my seasons on YouTube.
I mean, in general, we have
Shorts and a
either warm
t-shirt.
weather or everything's on fire weather.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fire
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't
Yeah,
have
we have fire
Lucky
season.
Card.
Hey,
Minus
stop
3,
bitching.
yeah.
It's stop bitching. It's 18 degrees Fahrenheit
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Either
It's
beautiful
41
or
today.
Armageddon here.
Yeah.
It was 41 today when I went to the store. I was like, man,
Ooh,
do I
nice.
wear my light jacket or just a sweatshirt? Yeah, I'm excited.
What is it? It's 34?
34.
34 I am.
Hey.
What's ours,
Hold
Keith?
on.
It's
Well, it's
Show
it's
you
not.
guys-
It's
got-
Andrew
well,
weather.
It's probably like
That's
My
shorts
kind of
weather.
You guys, I was done.
55.
It's
Actually,
not-
at 39
Actually, hey,
and
here
the
you
low
go.
is going to
There
hit
you go.
32. It's going to get freezing.
49. Wow.
Yeah.
Heck, you're 39 degrees.
I know it is a cold night.
Wow. Jesus.
Where is it for you, Carrie? How cold is it?
it's
50,
it's
sunny
cold
now,
here too. It's
California.
45.
Sunnyvale.
There
That
you go.
doesn't
Jesus.
count. Sunny, Jesus.
Protovision
Yeah.
is
Why
sunny.
don't
is
you have
50.
a blanket on? Yeah, a sweatshirt.
Because the heater went off. That's why.
Heater's
It was
off.
a beautiful sunny day though today. Earlier, it was gorgeous.
It was almost 70 here today, actually.
Wow.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's going to snow
I thought you
tomorrow.
had a snowstorm like a month ago.
Okay, it's
What are you
COVID.
talking
You
about? There's
can
still snow on the
enjoy
ground
everything
outside.
Yeah.
It's 70?
Dave, tell them about
The high,
your
sorry,
friend,
the high
Irish-
today was 66.
Yeah.
That's
Tell
So,
your friend
but-
Irish Jim or Irish Bob how much snow he got. What the
Well, that was where's
Irish
he?
Bill? Fuck, yeah, Irish Bill.
Binghamton, New York. He got like fucking 4 feet.
Biggins.
Yeah. In 5 hours, he got like
No, it was. I think it was 10 hours. Yeah.
Okay, well, all right.
Yeah, like
that
that
makes a
makes
big
it better.
difference.
Yeah, they got hammered. We didn't get shit. I didn't get shit.
Oh,
4 feet, 10 hours.
Hey, you remember that photo you sent out of the car just covered in ice from the storm coming off the lake?
Oh yeah. A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like oh,
How's that go again, Dave?
that's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see Mark's like,
Another-
yeah, that's cute.
It's
It was like,
it's
whatever. That was like Tuesday. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now wait, is it colder where Orange Whip is or where Seabart is?
Oh, it's good.
Where I
Seabart.
Seabart.
Seabart's
Seabart
colder.
was
Whip's,
a long
Whip's,
shot.
Whip's
No,
on the
no, he's-
coast.
No,
What
he's in
was back to
BC.
Portland?
Vancouver's beautiful, right?
I'm in a
Yeah.
temperate
Okay,
rainforest here.
Yeah. He's on the coast. The coast is fucking yeah.
So right now for me it's minus 18 in Vancouver. Sorry, for me it's 18 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's it
And
in Whip?
Vancouver it's 32 Fahrenheit. So I win cold.
And this is cold here.
yeah.
It has to be.
Oh really?
Right? Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah,
And
free-
32
freezing
degrees.
is
Dave
cold.
is at 36. So
Seattle's like never gets snow.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't get. We're like Seattle. Seattle actually
Yeah.
gets more snow than we do usually.
Yeah. If we get snow, it's like that much.
Like our oh shit.
How can it?
Our snow usually doesn't last a day because it rains.
Yeah. Like our oh shit cold temperature is like minus 40 Fahrenheit.
Come on, dang noodle! You shot and shipped the past.
You know what we saw yesterday is we saw my wife couldn't stop laughing. We saw a Ralphie blow up in the bunny suit.
Wow.
With his face.
Really?
My wife's like, is that a Ralphie? I'm like,
Nice.
because my son's he's like 8, so we have to drive around all the houses with the blow
Oh,
up
I thought,
shit.
when you said blow up, I thought like I was picturing like something blew up, like exploded.
No, I didn't.
I saw Ralphie explode.
I was picturing the autopilot
Christmas
from Airplane.
decoration. Yeah, there's a
Oh
Ralphie.
yeah.
Somebody's. I've never seen one, and we're like, "Is that a Ralphie blow up thing?" And it's got his face, and it's the bunny outfit. It was really cool. It was
That's awesome.
and then around the corner, we have a 30-foot Rudolph. It's almost looking down on the house.
Oh, wow.
Does it have the rotating head?
You sure it wasn't
Jesus.
Is it? I don't know. Is it supposed to? It looks like it's sort of rotating,
Because
but I thought it
there's
was
one that's a
just
couple
the wind.
streets over that's the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
30 feet tall.
Well, those
It's like-
reindeer are larger
the
than
head
they
turns back and
appear
forth.
on TV.
Yeah, man, Santa must be huge.
Yeah.
He got
Kick down that chimney.
COVID 22.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Well,
I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, Leo.
All right, Leo. Thanks for joining us for season one.
Cheers, Leo. See you all sometime
The end of season one, Leo.
Leo.
See you in
Look
season
what
two.
you did, you little jerk.
Hope to see you all next year.
Yes.
Good night.
See you, Leo.
Night.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I love that video with the package thief where they because you played
Glitter
that
bomb.
sound, but
Mark
Glitter
Rober,
bomb?
He did the
Yes.
3.0 this year.
Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah,
I saw that. That was
love
good.
it. I love it.
Not
I watched
one,
it too.
not two, not three, but 3 fart sprays.
He should do it way more than every 30 seconds. That's not enough.
Yeah.
He needs to be just like going constantly.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Fuck him, no mercy.
You see the first one they showed? The guy just like smashed it with like a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't see it yet.
The funny one was the one that he like drove all over San Francisco, all over the
that
Bay
was
Area,
creepy.
like just
Yeah,
like
that
up and down the fucking roads.
They're
There
robbing.
was a UPS
cars
guy
the
that
whole
picked it up
time.
and thought it was a package.
Yeah, and they're like, he's like, yeah, I'm not going after that package. Fuck that
Yeah,
one.
they were robbed because Seattle.
Those
yeah,
phones, it's done.
They're just robbing.
Oh, the
cars.
gunshots.
The gunshots one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't watched any. I just remember the one with the glitter bomb and everything.
We don't.
It's same guy. He's just
It's all
upgraded.
new and improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you can
they-
upload messages to it and do all kinds of interesting
and they
things.
can't
now.
put the box on. It's
I love it. Yeah, the little
lock
box
on.
on. So they're trying to close it.
I thought someone
I put a
debunked them
lock
and
safe
said
on it so you can't
those were
put the
his
box back
friends
on it.
We're stealing them. It was all set up. Bullshit.
Oh no,
So
that's not. Yeah, no. It was they're
well, it was
they're definitely
discussed
thieved.
online on Reddit or something. Reputable.
I like that he didn't blur all the faces this time. Either.
Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar. I thought I read something too.
They
where...
should be shamed. Those people
should
should
be
be shamed.
shamed.
They should show
Oh,
their
yeah.
faces.
But what was cool
Unless they're
this
a
time
minor.
The thing
When
is,
you
they
watch
show up on.
those videos. It looks fake as fuck, man. They don't even. It doesn't even look like they're even surprised by it, or they over exaggerated their emotions.
Hmm.
So
I don't know, but I mean, for all the videos that people post on Facebook from their Ring cameras, like people stealing shit off their porches, which happens like fucking 10
well,
times
it's
a
actually
day.
started.
those pinball parts
It's actually
going.
started. It's actually started
Happening to me.
happening in my apartment buildings now. There's been package thieves because the
Hey,
office with
package
COVID
thieves.
is not accepting. They're not signing for packages and holding them in the office during
Yeah.
COVID. And so there's been and it didn't even start happening here until like within the last 2 months. And so now even the post office won't leave packages by the mailboxes. So I either I'll set up my phone to get text updates, and as soon as it says delivery, no secure location, I know that he's here, so I'll run down and get my package. But people are now they're encouraging, and I've seen, like, I've been doing this too, like if you notice, like UPS or someone leaves packages under someone's mailbox, we'll move them inside the door so that no one from the outside could get them, because it happened to me already too, where it's like two things I went down there and they're not there. Like when I came back from visiting Carrie, there were supposed to be 2 packages for me, a bunch of others, but I was missing 2 entirely. And luckily one of them was like Amazon, who takes care of it right away. Like, they'll just be like, oh, we'll credit you or whatever, or redeliver, replace it. But like, yeah, but one of them I had to eat. It was like $35 worth of like RAM chips and stuff. So it's,
oh shit.
Have you guys had anything?
Oh man,
I
those
have
boards
something.
were happy you weren't going to work on them.
yeah, I know. All I'm thinking is someone opens up this package. They're like, "Oh, I wonder what this is," and it's just these little tiny ICs and
they
some
ended up in the
sockets.
trash.
Yeah.
probably just chuck them.
Oh no, 100%. What do you think happened to like the fucking ramps and shit like that for Star Trek? Which
Yeah.
they stole from me. It's like they're
Like,
like,
what
oh, these
the
are
fuck?
weird pieces of plastic and some metal. What the fuck is this? Just threw it away. It's like, yeah, that's $150 worth of fucking metal and plastic, you assholes.
Yeah.
It means fuck all to you, but like, it's kind of important to me.
Yeah.
Important to me.
And it was, and of course I ordered it from a small business. It wasn't like Amazon. It was like one of the small pinball suppliers. So they were like, well, it says delivered. We can't eat the cost of that.
Don't you
Cost
guys
them
got
money,
like
too.
webcams on your porch and shit?
The
Watching
cops
it?
don't do shit about
They
that.
don't
That's
do
the
shit.
whole. That's the reason. That's the reason why the glitter bomb guy started making those videos and made the whole
Yeah.
thing, was because he was
Mark
like he he had a package stolen from his porch. He had video, and the cops just like, well, there you go, can't do shit.
Oh well.
So he started doing the glitter bomb thing. That's the genesis of that
Yeah,
project.
he put out his third version number 3.
So the
days
cops
ago.
won't
just
do
be a
anything,
bomb
even
bomb.
if you give them video, the cops
I was
won't
getting
do
there.
anything, huh?
The cops will not do anything.
But where do you suggest you do the
Not
video?
even here
You
in
have a
California.
random person.
Why?
Where do you start with that? You have a picture of a guy. Okay, where does he live? Do you have a license plate number?
No, you don't have
Where do you
none of that.
start? It might as well be.
do.
What are you going to do? Unless it's your neighbor.
And
You know,
they're
unless it's
literally
your neighbor. That's my neighbor. Okay,
Yeah, right.
But
But
if it's
literally
just some random guy, okay.
driving around the neighborhoods, they take the plates off the cars.
Wow.
Oh, that's even.
They're that ballsy that they just take the plates off the cars and drive around the neighborhoods.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The cars, the people who are picking up the package porch.
They just do it like
How does
they
that work?
do a run.
In COVID, everybody's at home. How the fuck
But
does
they'll
that
just
work?
they'll steal a car to do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or they'll steal a car and then steal the plates off of a different car.
Yeah, but I understand.
Instead of fart spray, it should be poison, like cyanide.
just
Pure.
straight up
And then it
COVID.
explodes.
Just COVID.
COVID spray.
It should just be packed with C4.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
glitter, just put a bomb in there.
Just a cloud of COVID.
COVID.
Filthy animal.
Filthy
Boom.
animal.
The animal.
There were ones where the guys used to put dye
Obviously,
in it,
that's
so
extreme.
when it went, it would dye you in the face.
Oh, that would be
They-
cool.
they-
Oh, that would be nice.
Like the
I think
the
they were
fire
getting
alarms.
sued.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
not
bank.
like you could
no,
sue.
yeah.
You stole the package. You can't sue.
Well, no,
You
but
can-
that's I think that's the
you can
same
still
argument
sue.
as like the people who would do the breaking and entering, but then the guy would set up like the trip wire with a shotgun.
Yeah, blows their
Like,
their
well,
legs off. Or
come
whatever.
Turns out it's illegal.
It turns out you can't do that.
That's
Yeah.
That's
you know.
stupid.
You
Tried.
get someone, you run out there.
Oh, my bad.
Does anybody have anything held up by the U.S. Postal Service right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I have something that was mailed on December 1st from New Jersey.
Oh,
New Jersey.
Yes.
It's been sitting in New Jersey since, I'm sorry, not November.
Dave,
December 1st.
if you
December
stop-
1st. It's been sitting in New
They're
Jersey.
locked.
I bought off of Facebook. I sent the woman a paper check. She's not, I bought my son a ventriloquism dummy. WC
God.
Fields, because he likes ventriloquism dummies. I'm like, oh, it's a good deal. It was $95. I sent her 75 for the dummy, 20 for shipping. She mailed it. She sent me a picture of the receipt from their packing place. And she's like, had no idea what a tracking number is. I called the place. They're like, oh, yeah, would you have the receipt? Okay, yeah, here's your tracking number. And I'm looking, and she's like, everything is messed up. And I've been looking at the tracking number. It's been sitting in New Jersey since December 1. It was supposed to be delivered on December
Jeez.
5th with no update. And also Arcade Shop on December 7th, I needed T-molding for this MAME cab that my friend was making for my son. It's still sitting in Georgia. And when I called Arcade Shop, maybe a week and a half later, I said, because Barbie had the idea, is why don't you just call them and ask if they'll do it USPS? Because we needed more molding. And I called them, and the guy answered the phone from Arcade Shop and goes, we are only shipping UPS right now because everything is sitting.
Yeah.
It's not moving. I mean, this is December 1. I mean, it's going to be, this is December 23rd with no updates
Inner country
in New Jersey.
So check this out.
They got millions and millions of boxes of
My friend's a letter carrier, so I called him because I was just fucking with him. You know, I'm like, he has nothing to do. He's just delivering the mail.
You
in the
need to
hood.
get on this.
Yeah, but he goes, dude, we have a tractor trailer in my station filled with boxes that are supposed to go to Philly. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. It's just filled with all these packages going to Philly. It's just sitting there. It's unbelievable. Like,
So I went out. I left the house Sunday morning to go to work to go do a couple things, and I walked out, and the post guy is putting stuff in the mailbox, and I had to stop and like, what
Double
fucking
take.
day is it? It's Sunday. He was filling the mailbox for the whole street, you know, because we have a main mailbox across the street from the house for all the homes. He was putting mail in the mailbox on a Sunday.
Yeah.
They're so backed
well,
up.
he was doing letters and stuff. Today,
They've been doing packages on Sunday for a while, though.
No, but he was doing letters
I
in
know.
the mailbox.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I got my with that Super Punch Out board today. I got back from Game Fixer. It was a woman in a car
Yeah,
the
they got
UPS thing. She was
the
delivering
on-track
something
people,
across the street,
yeah.
and she's like, "Oh wait, I have a package for you. Wait, you're UPS? You have a car?" It's like, we don't have any vehicles. And so I literally backed up. I was leaving my driveway. I backed up my Odyssey. I opened the thing. I go, you can just put it in the back of the thing, because I knew what box it was in my mind. I'm like, oh, that's Game Fixer's thing. But she's in a car. I'm like, how much do you even have in a car? Because my box was big. She has a car. She had a small car. It's not like a minivan, and she's driving her own car around with the UPS.
Vest
Vest on.
man. It's
Yeah,
bad.
I'm like, she's got nothing, and she's like, but my friend from the post office is like, all these other agencies, UPS and FedEx, will give us, the United States Postal Service, their stuff, but we don't have it reciprocal. Like we can't give them anything. So we take all their shit, but our shit still sits here.
You know who's perfect? Amazon.
They got the I'm still getting
No,
Amazon
they're
stuff
not.
I'm getting it better than the post office.
I've had shit canceled. I've had something that's been marked as delivered. Call them up. They're like, nope, it's delivered. I'm like,
I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I've been
For
getting
whatever
Amazon
reason, they
deliveries
can't
every
figure out
day
my
for a
building
month.
here. I'll
They
get
always take
like
pictures of where they deliver it for me. So
Yeah.
I always know.
that doesn't help me, because every one of the buildings around here, the entrance looks the same.
It has the same
and,
facade. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, like every third Amazon delivery gets dropped off in the wrong building. So I can get to, like, my key will work with a lot of the most of the entrances at least, and I can eventually find it. But I always go on Amazon. How did we do? And bad. And then one of the check boxes is it was delivered to the wrong address. It's like, and I even have in there. In the Amazon address, I have in the special instructions, you have to take the second right to access building 9720, because they'll end up putting it like in one of the other buildings, because I think they just give up. They're like, oh, this is close enough, What
happened to 2-day shipping with Prime? That's what I want to know. All
Not
that
during the holidays, man. Those people are slammed.
It's never been 2 days anymore, hardly ever. It's always
not
whatever date they want to come up
September.
with.
Not since September.
I just
you got to really look at the dates.
Shipping 4 days
or
later.
same day. Yeah.
I have no recourse.
Same day is now
It's a month.
I
and
have
it's just
had
like
same day
nothing.
shipping from them though.
Yeah,
so have
me
I.
too.
Yeah,
Random
I
stuff.
mean, it just depends on what it
Order
is,
within
but
the
it's
next
still you have
hour
to
and
look. You
55
have to really look
minutes.
at the dates.
Just pay 3 payments.
It'll
of
be Prime, but yeah, it'll be
$69.99.
2 weeks from now or next month or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for
Really
shit
watch
that I
that
ordered
stuff.
mid-November for Christmas.
I think a lot of places are just trying to recover still from like the huge uptick in the amount of shipping that they're having to do nowadays with everyone staying at home.
And my friend with the post office, he did say that they gave them like a blanket, like kind of COVID policy for calling in sick. And I feel bad for employees. So a lot of people are abusing it as well because they could never have this extra sick time. It's always like the post office employees suck because, now all of a sudden, everything with time management, they have to scan the mailbox that they're at, and they're all like time where before it's like, okay, just at my own. But he said people are abusing it, but I'm not saying everybody. But it's also too, it's like the airlines. My friend's a flight attendant. He was like, he goes, I'm off for 2 weeks. He already had COVID, but someone on his crew had it. So the whole crew is down for 2 weeks for quarantine. So all of a sudden you have less people, even though he wasn't affected, or I don't know if he already had it once, but he's like we're even short. They laid off all those airline employees, but you get one person on that has it. Let's say the pilot has it, even though you didn't have contact with the pilot or for 2 seconds. Hey, how you doing? And they're in the cockpit. They're downing the whole crew of 6 people for 2 weeks, and they have to get more people to do the next flight.
Yeah. Hot topic, man. Got the IRC flow going.
Oh, I'm not ready. But I just want my ventriloquism dummy. The only thing, I mean,
I want my dummy. How many times have we heard that?
That was my parents' gift. That was going to be, they were going to give it to Carter. I'm like, you guys give it because it's going to be, my son he'll know it's used if it's not perfect. Why would Santa give me something that's used?
Yeah.
But he likes all this stuff. So now we have to he'll get it eventually, but there's no, it's just in, the it's in the Matrix. When is this ever going to come?
There's no ETA. I think
there's
Christmas
nothing. They're not saying if it was mailed here. It's just tractor trailers full of boxes that
There's nothing
they
we
don't
can
know
do
what to
about
do
it.
with.
We're just gonna have to accept that our kids will get our gifts 2 to 4 weeks late after Christmas. There's nothing we can do. There's no amount of complaining. you're
Thank
gonna
God
do.
it's not something he did not know he was getting.
Yeah.
So if we can make amends. It's not like this one thing he was asking for that I bought a December 1 and I did not get by Christmas. I almost want to do like call the local news station, have them cry, like, look, you know, like just to, like, look, I mean, this was December 1 for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
From New Jersey to Buffalo. I mean, we're on the same coast. It's not like it's from
You should've
Lebanon.
you should have just made the drive.
Well, it's nothing to do with the delivering. It's all the packages.
No, they're just sitting in a fucking thing.
Yeah, they're
and it's
sitting
funny
there. No
because the
one's
Facebook lady, and I spoke to her on the phone because I did call her before I sent her a paper check because she doesn't have just to speak with her. And she's like, and she sends me the picture receipt from the packing place. I'm like, no, I need a transaction number. So I just called the packing place. Like, oh yeah. When was it? What's the receipt? Okay, yeah. Here's your tracking number. And she's like, you still have it? I took $50 insurance. I go, fucking 50. I paid you 75. Fucking what good's 50? I'm like, shit. I'm down $95. I
That's
paid
weird
her
that the
$95.
tracking number wasn't already printed on the receipt. It usually is.
No, dude, it's like in New York City and the East Coast, like you get these. It was like a triplicate, like carbon copy thing. You know, like there's three things like pack and
vintage,
ship
man.
from Jersey. It's like old
Yeah.
school.
Vintage.
And then I'm like, they were nice on the phone. And I did get a tracking number, but I'm like, she's sending me this thing with just her cash register receipt. Then on the bottom says we ship UPS, FedEx, UPS. I'm like, there's no number on here. It's just what you paid. And you're like, pink sheet.
What?
All right, I'm done.
So
on the
I
post-it.
I switched to FedEx for all my vendor shipments about 2 months ago because things really started getting bad.
You're smart.
And
were
I
you
and I had a
using the
box.
postal service? Were you using the postal service?
Yeah,
for all
I've usually always used USPS, but things were just starting because I had a box of PCBs, TPG PCBs actually. So I had like this $2,000 box, which of course I had not insured, sitting in Denver's distribution center for like 10 days, not moving. So every morning I'm waking up going, where's my $2,000 box? Why is my $2,000 box not here yet?
Oh man.
Am I going to lose my $2,000 box?
Oh my god.
So after that, I was like, okay, yeah. So I switched to FedEx, and I've been doing that. I'll probably go back to USPS in early 2021 because FedEx, sometimes it's cheaper based on where I'm going, but a lot of times it's not because their minimum is like 10, 11 bucks. You can't ship anything for like less than 10 or 11 bucks, at least from Colorado to other places.
You have a business account?
No, I don't. I haven't set one up with them. I
Sign
probably
up,
should,
sign
I
up with a
guess.
business account because that's what I've done, and
Yeah.
the rates are dramatically lower.
Oh, they are really okay.
Yeah.
Do you need anything for that? You just got to like use your
No,
corporate
just sign up for it.
license or
under
something
your
like that.
name.
You are a
Okay.
business crafty, man. You sell craft tech.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have an LLC. I just don't use it. I do
Use
sole
it.
proprietor on my taxes.
Use it.
I use that 20% small pass deduction. The only good Trump tax cut, which is nice.
birthday!
But
Oh, made me laugh. I like Frosty.
But yeah, so I mean, I'll
That was
switch
worth
back
it.
because I mean, usually I love USPS. I mean, they've always been good to me. They've never lost a single package of mine, and I've shipped I don't know a couple thousand packages probably over the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, some of them have gone astray. Like a TPG went to Brazil once, and then it was supposed to go to Canada, and then a month later it went to Canada. So they got it eventually, but you know,
Canada.
The worst is On Track.
Oh,
on track is terrible. Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
What is
And
On Track? I don't
Amazon
know what that
used
is.
They're just
to
another
use assholes.
another carrier.
Is
Yeah,
that like-
Amazon
used to use
Amazon
them.
uses them every
personal
once in a while.
vehicles.
Yeah,
Untrack's
for
better in
their
other
2-day
countries, I
Prime
think.
shipping.
Is that
Oh
like
my God.
DHL?
But
It's
Like a
worse than
DHL.
DHL.
It's worse. It's just
Dude,
a guy in a van.
I've had packages that just like go like random places of the country. Like it'll be like way overshooting. Like it'll be like coming from California. It'll go to like Florida and then up to the fucking, and then it'll sit up in like fucking New Jersey for like 10 or 15 days. And then it'll tell me it's in New Jersey, but it's out for delivery.
Oh, that's comforting.
In Arizona.
But then it'll stay out for delivery for like another 4 or 5 more days, and then it'll update and be like, "Oh, delivery delayed. Sorry about that." And then it'll show up in Denver and hang out here for like 3 or 4 more days, and then go out delivery. I'm not kidding. This is not really an exaggeration. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not much. But like seriously, it just goes places of the country and hangs out there, and they just lie. Their tracking system is fucked.
Carrie, you would have had so much information.
There's actually a whole subreddit. Sorry, real quick. Just to wrap this up. There's actually a whole subreddit that's decoded to OnTrack, and people complaining about the shit that they do.
That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
If you have the choice, never ever pick OnTrack.
Nope.
Pay more.
And what I did is, since Amazon built that distributor place out by DIA in Denver, and they also have a second warehouse right next to C470, so close to me. If I'm on Amazon and it says delivers next day, I know it's coming from one of those 2 places. So a lot of my stuff, like boxes and tape and just stuff like that I need for shipping or miscellaneous, I'll get whenever it says 1 day, because I know it'll be here the next day. Even now, they their little blue vans drive around. So, but that's the only dependable shipping I've had in the last like month is Amazon's 1 day delivery, because I know it's coming from Denver. It doesn't have to come here from somewhere else.
Yeah, they have the distribution center in Aurora, I think it is. Yeah, on 470, and it just all that shit comes same day or next day.
Yeah,
we're getting a warehouse here by me too.
If you ever see that, I think it's a T is how the tracking number starts with, and it's like, it's coming Amazon. It's good. It's gonna be solid.
But like today,
except for Jim,
they send me stuff. Once in a while.
It's 2 out of 3. It's okay.
I order like little 6x4x4 boxes for shipping stuff, and it's always the same listing. I've ordered it. Said today I've ordered it 37 times. I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Jeez.
But
he's a regular.
Like a year ago,
Norm.
The picture of the boxes changed to coffee creamers, and it's been that for like a year on the listing. So it's coffee creamers on the listing, but it still gives me boxes. But today they sent me some kind of energy drink. No, it wasn't coffee creamers. It was energy drink instead of boxes. And they've sent me margarita mix by accident for the same item. They sent me a grill, like some kind of grill for an ATV. So
I didn't need 37 of these. I needed boxes.
No, it's like, this is nice, but I want those boxes.
That's why I clicked on the coffee creamers.
That's right. I know the coffee creamers is the boxes when I see it in my history.
It's a Festivus miracle.
I've had really good luck with Uline with their boxes.
Uline I would say for boxes. By far.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah, quality, and it's funny. Like they don't ship their boxes in boxes. They just zip strap them basically in a big stack.
Yeah,
you just get like a giant stack of boxes.
Yeah, and you get a huge catalog in the mail.
And they always send you a fucking
It's like a telephone book.
It is a telephone book. Yeah.
If you ever
like
need
twice a year.
those USPS priority game board boxes,
thanks.
I still have like 200 of them after I ordered that. I thought I went on their website and I wanted 25 of those game board boxes from USPS.
Oh yeah, you bought 25 cases of them.
I got 25 packs of 20.
I think I got 1 or 2 of those from you.
Wow.
They're just stacked on my porch.
There you go. Look at that Uline pick catalog. There you go.
Yeah, all with the warning that you must use them for USPS purposes only, or it's a federal crime or something.
Oh my God!
Dave's good at using those to ship to as packing material. I've noticed when he shipped me his board.
When I was shipping the coasters out to everybody and the hot chips for the hot chip thing,
asshole.
There was some guy that came up and he went. You asked for it, so. I was at the counter for a while because I had to ship out that was like 15 fucking packages of coasters and stuff, which I think will be to most of you on Thursday. Not Seabart. Seabart maybe next month.
Seabart. You mean that one?
There you go. So, but yeah, some dude walked up to the counter next to me with a FedEx box, and the guy behind the counter started just going off on him. Like, that's unethical. You can't use someone else's shipping box to ship through USPS. We can absolutely refuse this. And the guy was like kind of laughing about it, like, oh my God, this is being kind of funny. And the fucking postal worker stopped and went, no, seriously, do not do this ever again. This is hugely a problem. It's like, wow, apparently.
So I got the flip side of that. I got the flip side of that. I had Melinda go mail something on our FedEx account, and I had rewrapped the box because I used a what do you call it, a priority box.
Penis.
I rewrapped it in brown paper.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we can't do that, blah blah. And she's like, well, but it's a USPS box underneath. The guy's like, we don't give a shit. It's a box. Put a label on it, shipped it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
As long as the barcodes are covered,
He didn't
they
give
can't
a
be a
shit.
misscan. There's no fucking
It's
problem.
like a box is a box.
I think
You're paying for it. I don't care what it's in.
I know. I think the thing is like they're giving the boxes away for free. Like Crafty Mac is a great example. Like he didn't pay for those boxes.
Yeah.
No, they were free.
Yeah. So there's an ethical issue of providing this. Like it costs them obviously to produce them, taxpayers.
That's why I
would pay them.
rewrapped it. But the guy's like, no.
Oh, what's in the box?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That's why some people I've noticed, because I've gotten boards that way, they take a USPS box and they want to ship it another way. So they cut it on the sides, flipped it inside out, and they ship it like
that. Yeah.
But
You
then
can't do that anymore now.
started putting started putting USPS on the underside in the inside cardboard surfaces of the box. So you can't turn them insade out anymore.
No, so that's why I wrap them in brown paper.
Yeah, like you take like the old the grocery bag and then make that the wrapper.
I would just like to thank you guys for the hundreds of free USPS boxes I have just sitting over my shoulder here.
I
used to go every time I go down every weekend. I would just stack them on my trunk and bring them.
Oh, those are them.
Hey,
Yep. Yeah, I have a bunch. I have a bunch too. Yeah.
Yeah,
great
too.
arcade board.
But
those
thanks
long
to
ones are hard to
Crafty
find
Mac,
now.
I knew not to
want the
order
board game ones,
multiples.
is what you
Just
want.
get one.
I
yeah.
have like I have like 10 of those packs just like that.
Oh, I got such a kick out of opening
I'll
up
ship one to you.
Dave's board that he sent me, the Super Punch Out board, and and it's shipped like UPS. And I open it up, and there's cut up USPS boxes in there in the corners and stuff. He's using it as packing materials.
Oh shit!
Old boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of clever.
There's no reason to go to the post office anymore either. You could just do everything, print out your own label, weigh your own stuff.
Except I don't own a printer.
That's
I have a printer, and I had to ship internationally.
And you have to have a weight scale too.
And I had to do that whole customs thing for Seabart.
I use pirate ship.
God.
Oh yeah, that's
all the
Oh,
paper.
what did I do?
Seabart.
Oh, Dave's back.
Fucking
In Canada.
Fucking Seabart.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking Seabart.
You did the post.
Dave, you missed it. I was just telling them about, we were complaining about boxes, like USPS boxes and how anal they are with stuff. And I was like, yeah, I discovered that Dave likes to use USPS boxes as part of his packing materials. When you sent me the Super Punch Out board, you had cut up a USPS box. And
yeah.
Like, well, that's a clever use. Yeah.
No, because I've got that before. And you can get them for free. So I got
that's
25 of those. Yeah,
I'm not supposed to do it.
He did that with the fire escape too. It's wrapped in blankets, but then there was the boxes were wrapped around it.
I did UPS boxes for the corners, and then I buy Home Depot boxes.
Home Depot.
That's I was gonna say I never forget the when you sent me the punch out board. Dave, massive Home Depot box filled to the brim with
extra
packing
large
peanuts
box.
and
You know what it was?
bubble
I
wrap
had-
and everything
I
else.
had-
I was like, holy cow! Like his firstborn was in there or something.
I had this massive. My parents had this. My dad had this humongous garbage bag filled with peanuts, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use that. And I used them all, and I'm like,
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was classic.
I don't even think I used that much packing material when I sent Adam all of those novelty machines way back in the day. Remember all those love meters? I was like, this is the heaviest thing I've ever shipped in my life. And I'm like, no, because none of it worked. I'm like, well, what do I care? Yeah.
You shipped them to Adam? I thought you shipped them to me.
Well, no, I sent you the ones that worked that I finished, but I had a pile of the
I
same
sent all
type
the
of
junk to Adam.
I sent all the stuff that shit doesn't. Oh, I thought about it, like hadn't thought about it until now, and I'm like, who? Yeah, like.
What does it cost you guys to ship that Mega Touch?
Like,
Oh God,
80
the
bucks.
Megapod-
80 bucks.
About 80
It's like
bucks or
100
so.
pounds, man.
I got another one.
Yeah, but that's
that
where
Don-
UPS shines, is when you
It's heavy as hell.
with the heavy stuff, and you pay them
Sort
to you have them pack and ship it, because then at least it's insured, as me and Andrew found out. Even though it still didn't show up in great order, but it at least works.
Yeah, the
So
second
wait,
one.
Mega Touches could be shipped in a box. That thing is so heavy.
It's heavy.
That would be
Yeah,
like
that's
a
it's like
pellet.
80.
Yeah,
What did you
it's-
Oh,
say?
it was coming out of the bottom of the box when it arrived.
Yeah, those
being
the
burnt.
flat panel, the one I sent Andrew is about 68 pounds.
It is so heavy for a little
Yep.
dense machine.
So I brought it to UPS because the first one I had done was a CRT, was a Radeon that I had sent him, and and I had them pack and ship it, not because I thought they were going to do a better job, just for the insurance, because they have a guarantee. And we went back and forth. God, was that like 2 years ago, Andrew?
That sucked. Oh, longer than that, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago, and we went back and forth, and the guy at the store was good, and I showed them, here's all these pictures, here's documents documenting several different resellers and the price, and they basically cut me a check, which was more than what Andrew paid. So we both kind of came out. It was still inconvenient because he didn't get a working machine, but we both kind of came out in the end. And then
We were even. Yeah, we were clear at the end. It was like no one lost any money on our end.
It wasn't like we made money or anything. Yeah. And we didn't lose anything. So it was just a inconvenience. So then this next time when I got one of the Ion Evos, I was like, well, I've actually personally had one of these shipped to me from eBay, and it showed up just fine. And the way that it's designed, it's heavy, but the monitor sits back, like this is the face of the touchscreen. It sits back at an angle like this, and so it's easy to pack, and it's more protected. And so I'm like, well, you want to give this a crack, because I got a good price on it, and so we did. I did the same thing. And because it's a smaller box, the girl working the counter, I don't know, I was like, it's like 68 pounds, like, we had it on a scale, and I'm like, what's it going to be? And she's like, it's 80 something, and like whatever it was. And I'm like, done. And what do you want to insure it for? Yeah. And I think I insured it for like $300 or $400 or something like that. And yeah, and it worked.
So your suggestion is because I got another one that Donnie brought me, that he brought me I picked up with the stand, which is smaller than the one I had that I was originally going to send you, and I got another one, but I'm like, this fits on the stand. It's a little smaller. So your suggestion is I should just take it to UPS and then just insure it for the shipping costs.
Have them pack it.
Care.
Make them pack it.
And make them pack it and pack and ship.
Pay
Just be
extra
like,
for
here
that.
you go.
Yep.
Because at least that way,
they
if it's
guarantee
done-
it. They guarantee it then.
All right.
Yep.
So it's
They
worth
won't-
the extra money, because then
They won't guarantee it if they don't pack it.
Yeah.
All right. So just bring it there and let them pack
Yeah,
it.
if you just do the insurance, then you have to go through so many more hoops. Like me, even after I had them pack and ship that
It was
first
still a
one,
pain in the ass.
it was still a pain in the ass. You had to prove what it's worth, like either a point of sale thing or like I showed them I printed out like 3 different resellers that sold them, and there was a few and pictures and stuff.
And they called-
you had to send them stuff too.
Yeah, they called me. They fucking interrogated me about what it was, what the
Interrogated
damage
you.
was. No, seriously, it was. They took me for a grilling. It was like, they were not polite about it. They were like aggressive. Like, no, we're not going to pay for this. Like, prove to us why we have to pay for it.
So
I'm like, it's garbage now. It's like it's worthless. It doesn't work.
It's mail fraud. I'm sure people do it all the time, right?
It almost set on fire in my fucking house. So yeah.
Yeah, you had a fireworks display or something going on. Yeah, with the
It shot out
flyback blew up or
sparks,
something.
and then
Yeah.
fucking smoke poured out the sides. It was like, so tell them that story to finally get them to understand. It's like, this piece of electronics, like, this is dangerous, like, because of how your handlers handled this thing. The guy fucking rolled it onto my porch. It was
Yeah.
told
Corners
him the
rolled
whole
for
fucking
free.
story.
Did you get a video of that?
No, but I did talk to the delivery driver, and I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And this box is all fucked up. And he's like, You want to sign for it? And he's like, all right, I'll make a plan. I'll make a note that, like you're saying, that the box is damaged. And then he fucking left.
Jeez. Yeah.
Dude, their
Just
job
gotta
is
get
so
rid of that shit as
secure.
fast as we
It's
can.
crazy.
34. Get a door cam or a porch cam.
Well,
Nick
who's
is
going to think?
fine.
Much
Yeah.
more
They wouldn't be
convenient.
fired.
No, but it barely would have mattered. I mean, at the end of the day, like it just took some finagling to get done, but like it still just was like, whatever, it was done.
Yeah, I kind of wonder too if they're like, well, if they're going to go through all these, if they're still complaining, they're still going through all these hoops we're throwing at them. Okay, well, like I'm sure there's a lot of people that try to do scams or fraud, and they bend over at the first hoop that they have to
Dude, the
walk through because
greatest
they don't have
scam
anything.
is get a job with the USPS and just fucking steal all that shit. Just say you lost it all.
Actually, someone was posting about that on Nextdoor about
People have
people
done
like
that.
actually like working together,
They
like
get
with like
arrested.
porch pirates, who are like they're saying they'll cut open the boxes like for the deliveries and look inside,
wow.
and if it's something that they can see is like of value, they'll retape the boxes, deliver them, but like tell their phone their partners to then
shit.
come pick up that shit as they drop it off.
Yeah. What about all those PS5s, right? That got stolen. Like,
Right?
That was a big
UPS,
thing when those got
UPS, though,
released.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was UPS drivers. Like, ooh, PS5, yeah.
A couple people actually chased them down because it said deliver, and they go out and there's nothing there. But the guy had to go like 3 houses up for the next delivery, and they're like, "Hey, where's my fucking box?"
Shit.
Wow.
What is the deal like with PS5s? Like I don't know what the
It's sold out.
They just sold out. On that.
It's a hot Christmas event.
They made
It's
like
scalpers.
12 of them, and
That's
all
right.
sold out.
All 12 sold out.
Well,
all 12.
All 12. Nice.
yeah. They made like a lot, but then scalpers got 99% of them, and so then like there were like 10 for everybody else.
Yeah, it
When's the
doesn't
scalpers
matter
come
if
up
they,
with some,
I mean,
like-
they made a couple. They had hundreds of thousands available, but even if they would have made 10 million day one, they would all still been gone.
Yeah.
I just people were posting on Facebook and stuff, being like, "This is ridiculous," and it's like people asking like,
Well, don't pay it.
$2,000 or something.
That's
Yeah,
what's ridiculous.
Don't
Period.
buy shit from scalpers
just-
ever. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Wait,
Ever.
Because
Well,
it's
the-
1,200 plus.
yeah.
bucks.
I haven't bought a console since the PS3, so
my
I'm a little
daughter
behind
asked
on the
for,
times.
she asked for an Xbox or she just wants to play Fortnite, whatever. And so I didn't obviously get the new one
Play it
because
on a
we
phone.
don't even.
You can do that on
we
a
don't-
phone, yeah.
But I bought both. I bought an Xbox and I bought a PS4, which you still can't even get. And I even thought about before I returned the PS4. Now she said she wanted the Xbox, so I bought both. Whatever she decides on, I'll just return because you have Best Buy. You have till January 16th.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, but in my mind, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll say if somebody after Christmas, in case she's like disappointed, but she did decide on the Xbox, whatever, I guess. She doesn't know, she doesn't care, I guess, whatever her friends have. But I always thought, does anybody want this? I'll add $50. You can have a receipt from Best Buy. Otherwise, I'm returning it. If your son didn't get the PS4, it's not a 5, but you can have $50 more and have an extra controller. I bought everything for both systems because I didn't know what she wanted.
Dan,
I'm
what
so
happened?
behind on the times.
You can.
You're a good dad.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know what's also crazy is then I dropped off my my wife's Apple Watch 6 at my parents, and my parents are old. My mom couldn't find it.
That's
she
like
hid it in the
my
house. and didn't know where
brother-in-law.
she put it, and then she's
my
like, "No, you never
ex-brother-in-law. Yeah.
you never brought this over here." I go, because I got my daughter an Apple Watch 3 as well, but I brought the Apple Watch 3 over. This is you should have another box like this. She's like, "What are you talking about? This is the first time I've seen it." I go, "Mom, a month ago I brought
Oh shit.
Julie's gift, and it's $400 fucking bucks." She had me going bananas. I'm looking at my own house, hiding spots.
back.
And then finally she found it. But I'm like, "Mom, I know I brought this fucking thing over here. I picked up at Best Buy. I brought it here. It was 3 hours
It's
of
like-
my day of stress."
It's like Clark Griswold reaching in and going, "Oh, what's this? Oh,
Yeah.
that's from 3 years ago or whatever."
because
it was.
she's 78.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day,
Mother's
1983.
Day,
Yeah,
yeah.
remember- that was Oh, that was probably the last time, Andrew, that you were
was
you were
right.
still awake.
Right on when I was asleep.
But this was a 3-hour thing of like, Mom, I brought that thing over. It's $400. It's in your house somewhere. No, I never saw that. I never saw that. And I'm like searching stuff. Like, where would I hide it? And then finally she found it. I'm like, no, it was there. It's there. I know it's there. And she found it. I'm like, oh. It's like, I never saw this box. This is the first box like this. I'm like, oh, you already had one like this.
You senile old bat.
I know, but she's got like a million.
But we love our
hiding
parents.
places for everything,
Especially the one that's probably
know?
eavesdropping.
We're watching the show.
Oh yeah, my mom's in the chat, by the way. Hey, Mom, hi.
Merry Christmas, Mrs. McDonald.
Yes. Oh, you were talking about who's talking about the liquor? You guys are talking about the liquor.
Jim was.
Yeah, I switched
about the
to
liquor.
Five Farms Irish Cream right now.
My
and
dad,
it is
the
good.
Canadian,
Oh, that's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I wanted to ask the Canadian. My dad,
Oh, yeah.
my dad's 81, and he drinks like light beer, and he drinks Canadian Leaf. Is that even Canadian? It's like the cheapest fucking
Canadian
whiskey,
Leaf.
dude. It's like
it.
it's like $15 for a 1.5 liter.
Wow.
It's like a liter. It's huge. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy.
Okay, that
him-
might be freaking just.
It's
water
probably
in
not
a
even
brown
Canadian.
bottle, dude.
Yeah, I know it's not Canadian.
I've never heard of it.
I've never
it's,
heard of
it's,
that.
it's got the big leaf on it. It's gonna
Backwoods
be
China.
of Buffalo.
I'm
No,
gonna be
it's-
honest with
it's
you.
just-
Like I
it's-
work in a restaurant and I volunteer at a Legion, and I've never heard of that.
Dude,
never
it's
heard of
it's
it.
Ever.
cheap. It's
Like
cheap.
not even like the bottles at the very end, bottom of the bar that no one
So I
buys. 'cause it
asked
tastes
my
like
friend
shit.
who owns the liquor store. I'm like, maybe I'll buy my dad some nicer. And he's like, I go, what's he goes, well, what's like Crown.
Oh, hold
Crown,
on.
like for your dad's, and I'm like, I can't wait because he's gonna open up. This thing's its own bag. This is gotta be fancy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it had
but
that
it's
little
a
velvet
blue
bag.
Velvet
velour
bag.
bag.
Yeah,
or
and it was
velvet,
funny
yeah.
because I was
With a
it's
pull
really-
string top.
Yeah. And I'm at
Drawstring
I'm
top,
buying it
yeah.
for him, and then the guy who was showing me, I go, dude, where's Crown in this place?
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, oh, but you know what I like better is this. I forgot a name. And I go, you know what? I'll buy him both.
He
And then
likes,
he can
he likes
decide.
whiskey or rye whiskey.
He just
Yeah,
he's
and
81,
dude,
man.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I
Get him
found
some
the
Canadian
Canadian
Club.
Leaf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and some
1.75 liters for $14.
Yeah,
Is it Gordon
Yeah,
Birch?
yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Gordon Biersch.
It does say it's
Oh,
from
never mind.
Canada.
Yeah,
Gordon Biersch.
Okay.
it's Canadian Leaf.
I haven't had that since I lived in California.
I know.
Oh, it says it's Gordon Biersch from San Jose, California. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking too.
Yep.
Oh
Canadian
crap!
Canadian
on
Leaf.
that.
Beer,
Yeah,
yeah,
Canadian
Gordon
Leaf.
Biersch is popular.
big in
Yeah,
California.
so he's getting
if you
some
enhance
Crown.
if you
It
enhance
says it's
it,
Gordon Biersch. Canadian Leaf.
Enhance.
yeah, from Baltimore,
no, this-
Maryland.
Yeah, this is a
So yeah, I'm
Canadian
calling
Leaf.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Ooh,
Calling
look at that
bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
1.75
calling
liters for
bullshit.
$14.
classy
That's
plastic
right.
bottle
Yummy.
right there.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
That's a
totally.
rip-off of Canadian Club whiskey.
Yeah,
It is
That's-
cool.
Yeah, it
Club.
does look like a
What it
rip.
looks like.
Yeah, it's
Oh
even
no, he
cheaper.
loves Canadian
That's,
Club
that's
too.
which is pretty
Yeah,
much terrifying.
they've
yeah.
ripped that off.
that's a different.
Yep.
Canadian
Totally.
whiskey, a blend.
Gleek, can we
Stay
get the link
blend.
for Canadian Club
Yeah.
whiskey? Rye
Shut
whiskey?
up, Wesley.
I had to see if that was really a thing, and it really is. It's it
Yeah,
seems
but
to
you
be
look at where-
available.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plastic bottle.
but you look where
Okay,
it's
okay. Here,
Oh,
you,
no
you
doubt.
liquor
Yeah,
snobs.
no.
My friend from
Horse
South
shit.
Carolina wanted. He shipped it to my house. I had to ship it to him. This Henry McKenna 10-year green label bourbon. That's like this, like fan. They only get like 2 or 3 bottles, and he paid like $85 and I had to ship it to him. You guys
Wow.
ever hear of this stuff? Because he's like,
No,
he's
dude,
a
that's out of my price range.
yeah, he's a snob, and then and that's what made me think of. But that's what
We're the
when you-
Credence.
when you're talking about shipping, because I took his stuff to his was 14 pounds to go to South Carolina. It was $20. My wife gets 75% off of FedEx, so it was 14 pounds, and it was $20 to ship from Buffalo to South Carolina. Matt McCullough, Game Fixer, the Punch Out PCB was only like 6.5 pounds, 7 pounds, and it was $39 to ship to Texas. And I was like, whoa. He goes, it just depends where it is. It's going further if it's not close to something. Because I was like, why is it so much more? And he's like, yeah, it could be in the middle of nowhere. It's just wherever.
Both
I was like-
both punch up boards that I've sent. Well, granted, it's only Michigan, so it's not that far away. To
Arcade
Sean.
Doc.
Yeah, they were like $20, but that's UPS though.
Night, Crafty.
Good night, Crafty.
Crafty, Merry Christmas. We love you, bud.
Crafty.
Come on, give our love to the wife.
Not
I will.
You're 50.
Back and on the poo.
But Jim, he's
Yes.
super popular now. Arcade Doc Sean, he's repairing so much stuff.
Oh, he kind of exploded, didn't he? With
Dude, he's insane. He repairs everything. He doesn't give up. He did that breakout board. Did you watch that series? The breakout that he's doing Roby Roto.
yeah, I've watched a bunch of his stuff, but yeah, he's always posting stuff. He's a machine.
Yeah, he lives only like 20 minutes from me, just north of me.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty cool dude.
He is cool. He's cool.
Yeah, but he did a great job repairing my boards. So
He
had a pretty quick turnaround, and so I thought for the price it was very reasonable.
Good turnaround, and every repair he does, he makes a video on it.
Mm-hmm.
What are board repairs going for these days?
$100-200.
$700.
No, 100, 200
I'm
bucks.
just fucking with that.
Adam's like, huh? I better get back into this.
I mean, a lot of money on the table there.
I still have a
Yeah.
coupon for a 1 circuit free board repair.
That's still valid.
Nice.
There you go.
If it ever happens, it's going to show up with a bunch of chocolate bars.
I stand by my word. Sweet.
Literally.
My man right there.
Chocolate,
Beans and arrows.
beer, whiskey.
Nice. Yeah, I actually someone just commented on my Clav thread. Hey, if you want, I can test that switcher out in my cabinet. I'm like, God, Jesus. Yeah. No.
Sorry, I'm burping a lot. But it's
Burpee McBurpins.
it's par for the course.
I've been waiting for the Domino's man to show up, Dave.
I know.
Are you gonna do some push-ups for us tonight?
No.
Going to take us outside and connect and hook us up to the side of the Barbie Jeep again.
Oh, the Barbie Jeep. I wanted to get rid of the other green Jeep because I'm like, Carter, and I threw it in the shed. I'm like, can we just sell this? Like, he can barely fit in it. But no, he didn't want me to get rid of it. Yeah, we've gone from the Barbie Jeep, which sold on the gray market, and then we got the other younger kid. But man, they got so
Gray
much
market?
use out of those Jeeps.
What the hell's a gray market?
Yeah. That's in between being legit and not.
Set underground power wheels.
That's back alley Craigslist.
Back alley.
Craigslist is too legit.
Let's try to understand the gray market.
Was that like Craigslist personals?
When he sells shit out of the back of his squad car.
Yeah, there you go.
we had somebody got canned for selling like fucking hair care products out of their patrol car. We were calling like, why is there a patrol car out here selling? Oh no, that wasn't our department. He left our
The back
department.
window has an Avon sticker.
You could get a lift in the cop car.
It was a guy selling hair care products.
Car.
Yeah, just like a magnet covers up like the sheriff stickers on the side with a fucking magnet.
Ding dong, Avon officer calling.
There's Avon instead of volunteer on the light bar cover.
Avon. Oh my God, is Avon still around?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I know Mary Kay is because I see those pink.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Avon's the grandmother
The pink
to Mary
Cadillac.
Kay.
The pink Cadillac.
My
Yeah.
ex
Pink
tried
cat.
selling Avon.
Did Amway
Did
still
all
survive?
the
That's still around?
coordination of deliveries.
Amway's
She
still around.
stamped and labeled the fucking books.
Wow.
I had a friend that
No.
did Mary Kay,
Ow.
and then then my ex-wife
I
did
had to-
Stella and Dot, which is like a jewelry company.
Yeah,
Could
most
be
people
worse.
are-
They could be selling passion parties.
Yeah, the passion parties are more popular.
That sounds more exciting than Stella and or Avon.
Well, Stella and Dot to me sounds like ice cream.
Yeah, actually with dots. Yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah.
Passion party, you have to go. Hon, who's getting the 9-inch chocolate thriller? Like,
It's
oh, that's
close
my
to
mom's order.
midnight. Oh
sweet
wait, no,
God.
not that thriller.
Pretty funny though. That might be
Look
one
it
of the
up.
funniest
It's a
things
real
you've ever
thing.
said.
I'm not
actually.
going to look it up. Anything you say look up, I usually
Don't
don't.
look it up.
Yeah, you don't look it
That's a
up.
pro
Don't
tip,
click,
Jim.
don't
Pro
click on
tip.
any of his links in IRC for a while either, by the way.
Not
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
Just give it a few hours.
Oh, Dave, you'll get it. You'll enjoy this, Dave. So I've decided that for my Punch Out like tutorial, whatever, normally I do an introduction video for my games where I kind of explain how they work, and sometimes I do like a tutorial. I'm gonna do. I've decided maybe because I'm just being lazy, but I want to do Punch Out and Super Punch Out as a live stream tutorial with a Q&A for all 5 people that watch.
You know what I love about Super Punch Out is that in Punch Out they're racist.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this too because
it's not racist, but they would never have great.
They're not
Tiger.
PC.
Yeah,
they're not PC.
Yeah.
Pizza pasta.
PC, not racist. Yeah, it's great.
Pizza pasta, Italian.
Vodka Drunkinsky. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
so good.
that's
It's so good.
But if you think about it though, so Punch Out came out in '84, Super Punch Out '85, my Cheyenne's '84, and my Cheyenne's probably a little bit almost as bad. Well, probably a little bit worse than Punch Out because you got pale face and you're shooting women and stuff. So but it's along the same lines. They're all around that same year, that early to mid '80s. But yeah, it's freaking great. I was testing out because I made some. I was with the when I was fixing the score saves. Carrie's sitting on my couch over here, and I'm testing it out. So I'm playing a couple games to see if it would save the score. And every time I got to pizza pasta, she would fucking start laughing.
Giggle,
And it's
yeah.
that I can't. Yeah, that's the one that gets me every time. Yeah.
Pizza pasta.
Nintendo changed it soda Popinski instead of vodka.
I know they dumbed it down.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You know, I had a
Popinski.
That's bad. That's sad.
When I played Super Punch Out, I was on a bowling
The
league.
Disney version.
So I played Super Punch Out next to Paperboy. And I remember
Yeah.
playing Super Punch Out, and the guy was on the bowling league. I don't think he was not Asian, but he looked Asian. And this is like juvenile humor. But I remember I'm playing it.
That's one way of putting it.
No, and the one guy behind us, because everyone says the guy looks Asian, and then when the what's his Dragon Chan, he's like, dude, can you understand he's like, can you understand what he's saying? And that stuff sticks with me. It's like fuck you, dude. It's just like, yeah, it was just like he knew he's not Asian, but he looks Asian, and it's like they just busted his balls.
Hey, that reminds me, see Bart, if you ever do a best of for this, do the one where Mock's on vacation and I play this.
It is funny.
That might be. That's one of my. I'm going to do a top 10 video on my sound effects timing, and that's way up there. Yeah. Oh my god, that was so good.
I'm adding that to the list.
In Europe.
Towards our 4.5 minutes for season 1
by an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Because of Jim. Okay.
Yeah.
The one that
Anyways,
Seabird just put up where Andrew trips over his chair is pretty awesome.
Oh, classic too. Yeah.
Yeah. That was 2 of 2.
Andrew, did you stop drinking? You drinking? Oh, I like when you get hammered. You're funny.
Oh, that's my cue to get another drink.
You're really boring sober.
No, it's just like, I don't know. It was always,
They're only fun when you're pounding them. Yeah.
no, I don't know.
Dave's partially there. He's
I know.
slurring already.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Oh, I'm fucking. I get to wait. What was it? 2, 4.
I ate a lot before I started on the eggnog, but the eggnog's so thick that it slows. I feel like I should be more inebriated than I am.
Yeah, I know.
But and this Irish cream is so good, but there's not a whole lot of alcohol in it. It's like, what is it, 15% or something? 17%?
Yeah, you just ate dinner again?
Ooh,
I'm sorry,
feels like it.
Drink dinner.
No, yeah, kind of.
Wow, that was perfectly
Mock,
poured.
what are you
That was
drinking?
Beautiful.
It was.
You gotta know yeah.
Yeah, you've done that before.
It's not my first rodeo.
Yeah.
Forgot about that video, Adam.
Oh yeah, the intro.
I forgot.
Remember, we're like Brad's gonna be pissed.
No.
Oh, when I did the cutout of
That
it.
was so long ago.
Oh my god!
Oh my
I forgot
God,
about
I
the
forgot
Andrew with
about
his
that.
kid.
Yeah, and he was describing playing a pinball machine or something. He's saying, and the thing kept jamming me in the crotch or something, and then I just happened to catch him like emptying out his can or something.
That was so
Adam,
good.
May I send
Those
that
are the days.
to Adam? May I send that to Higher C?
Sure.
Oh my
So
God,
good.
you
Are
have
you
this
okay
thing?
with that?
Mark, what are you drinking there? You got anything?
Eggnog. I just finished. I'm full.
I know. I need to switch to something
too
lighter
thick.
so I can keep going. That's what she said, right?
Adam's the master
thick.
of the repeating the small clips.
Yeah.
You did the is this brown? This is brown paint.
Brown
One, too.
Yeah, he has that too.
I never saw
Is that Gap?
I
you
never saw that?
No, I'm
so
sorry. I don't know
good.
what you guys are looking.
That's
I'm laughing
hilarious.
at Andrew falling. I've never seen that.
I don't even remember that. What year was that?
What is this?
This was in 2015.
Oh,
so
no.
this was 5 years
Jesus!
ago.
This is
6
like
years
the first.
ago.
This is like the
Oh my
first.
God.
Holy cow! This was a day ago, dude. Look at it. This is December 22nd.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's like our first fucking year live.
So this was our holiday episode in
Oh my God.
2015.
You remember those shows when we would go for 5 hours?
Yeah.
And Adam was
Oh,
on like every week
God.
too, for a couple hours.
Oh man, dude, that was so brutal for me because I had work the next day.
Dude,
It's like,
I took so many. I used all my sick days on Wednesdays.
I just had to work
literally
16
did.
hours on Wednesdays.
That's not even a stretch. It was like, oh my
hashtag
God,
fuck
I have
Wednesdays.
two sick days left. I got to use one today. It's so brutal. Like, what was I thinking? Like, this isn't a Friday night, but
Good times,
it was so fucking fun. Yeah.
Great thing is, like, no one expects you to go into work hungover on a Wednesday.
This is true.
And I learned the trick. Like, well, because I always went to work. No offense, Jim.
Yeah.
But like,
No.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's like got to be the pro, right? And I would always dress up on Wednesdays. So like Wednesdays would be the one day a week I'd wear the button-down shirt and like go to work. We didn't do ties there, but so it was,
No one could smell you because you're powdered up on Gold Bond.
Yeah, that's right. Just dusting a frosty
One
all
of your
over
best
me.
timed sound effects is now live.
What?
Wait. Oh,
one of your top fives, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found one.
That's
of
the
them.
one. I was actually at Mock's house.
Oh,
yeah.
is
It
that
was
right?
you, Mock, and
Really? Keith.
I think Keith.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there. Yeah.
I think that was the first time I met Keith.
Holy shit. That was episode
person.
33.
Oh, wow.
That's a
Yeah.
long ass time ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look how young we are.
Look, there's
I
timer.
know.
Yeah.
I
how
could barely
young we
grow
are.
a beard back then. Fucking half Italian. I can
That
grow a
was
beard.
that was there we go.
And then when I realized it was a box set.
Was Adam on that show? No, where
He might have been.
And then when I realized it was
I
like a
don't
box
think
set of my
so.
videos, I was like,
yeah, that's definitely way up there. That was when I was in my prime. And I had and my soundboard was a lot smaller than what it is now.
Oh, you can see them. The box set.
In front of your chest.
You gotta turn off your arcade.
It looks like he's miming
There you
something.
go.
Can you see this? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Dang.
Oh,
Look, I still
yeah.
have these bitches.
Wow.
Wow.
It's pretty
Another
cool.
box set you'll
there's a
never watch.
Fucking blast from the goddamn.
You should
past.
re-gift it.
I'll never watch them, but they look awesome on the shelf.
They do look really cool. I want a journey now.
Somewhere in a cupboard over there is the prototype cover.
They're
on
only
it.
they're only like
Dragon's
$4,000
Den
or something. Yeah.
You see, I played Journey as
Well,
a
it,
kid.
it takes an entire
So,
tricolor
like, I
cartridge.
do like
Who are you, Dave? That you've played these games? That the only time I saw a Super Punch Out was at Rock City Pizza, which used to be Chuck E. Cheese when I worked in the mall. They had one, and that was the biggest. I told that story, but that was like one of the biggest closeout like sales where I could have picked up so many. Like if I had the income and the knowledge I have now, and I could go back in time, I would have gobbled up so many games because they had so many deals. I remember like Super Punch Out was like $150 maybe, and they had a bunch of Nintendo stuff. They had so many cabinets for cheap, but that was the only time I remember seeing one.
I've played a lot of games. I never
Like
played.
Oddball.
these are the games I never played. I never saw any of the Rockola stuff ever. I've
Oh,
never
that's-
seen it.
I think
I've
that's
never
fair
seen
for a
it-
lot of people.
Yeah, I've never seen Nibbler, Eyes, any of the stuff. I saw an iRobot. I played an iRobot. I played a Major Havoc. I played Cliffhanger. Well, that's not rare, but I played Journey.
I would say that's
I never
yeah.
saw. I never saw Quantum. No, the Quantum was new to me with this whole hobby. Never seen one ever. But Black Widow, I played. I played a lot. E-Dot, I played.
Oh, I was just going to add, but yeah. So you came across a lot of games
Yes,
that.
yeah. Well, I was a nerd. I lived for this shit. This is all I wanted. I lived.
Yeah.
I played a Timber. I remember Domino Man. I played Tapper a lot.
Turkey Shoot?
I remember Bank Panic.
How about Turkey Shoot?
Never.
No.
You never saw that one.
How about Mr. Pooh or whatever the Uncle Pooh?
Uncle Pooh. That's Uncle Pooh to you.
I mean, I sat in a captain's chair. I played a captain's chair. That's why it's personal. The first Spy Hunter I ever played was Cockpit Spy Hunter. That's why that game always was like, ooh. But yeah, I was fortunate. Never the Rockola stuff. I'm trying to think what else. It's a cool game that.
It's very regional. A lot of this stuff too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
They had
lot of Nintendos in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. I mean, Donkey Kong's made a pretty good penetration in juniors. But
You said penetration.
deliberately.
The first Duck Hunt I ever played had it's so weird because I remember the weight of the gun and the feel.
Metal?
No, rubber. The
But it's
rubber.
heavy,
He remembers the feel of the rubber.
I remember the feel of the rubber black.
Hanging him in the head.
It was thick and rubber and black.
Yes,
And
it was
studded
brand
for
new.
his
It was
pleasure.
brand new. I was playing next to my father. It was brand new. Yeah, it was the rubber gun. That's what. And I didn't even have a Duck Hunt, and I buy parts for games I don't have. And I bought the plastic one. And ended up selling it later. But I got it. I'm like, this isn't right. And then I'm like, oh, because it's not rubber. Like I don't want this. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I was talking to one of the guys that got the Time Traveler's Warehouse.
Wanted
stuff,
to buy a
and
rubber.
He was saying that a lot of it happened to be where the distributors were for a lot of the games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very regional.
Because the Time Travelers, apparently, he was like a $6 million a year. He was like one of the largest ones in the world. That's why he had such a huge warehouse still. And we had games here, like I remember Rockola games and stuff, but I don't remember a lot of Nintendos because they're right below us across the border. We never got them up here.
So, Brad, you remember Rockola games? You played this. And I don't remember Exidy games. When ColecoVision came out, I thought they were all bullshit. Oh no, except Mousetrap. Because we did see a
Venture?
Mousetrap in the arcade. Venture, no, I thought that was
No?
just something made up for ColecoVision. And it's my 13-year-old or whatever.
Oh, Adventure
mind.
was on ColecoVision. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had ColecoVision. Like
Yeah,
none
a
of
lot
these
of
games.
arcade
Like I wanted arcade games.
There were a ton of
Yeah.
that was a huge system for me. That was probably one of the only systems we could afford. We had the Atom computer and it had the ColecoVision built in.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
your name.
Atom
but
computer, of course.
there was so
Extra
many
level
games
for Donkey Kong.
so
I
many
had to
games
buy
on that
him-
system that I didn't realize actually existed in arcade form. That
Yeah,
I didn't
same
realize they were
here.
Coleco
wow.
ports. I thought they were just that was the original system that they came out on.
Cosmic
like
Avenger.
looping
I
and
thought
yeah,
it was just
all
made
those.
up for Coleco.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I knew it was an arcade game, I might have get more credit.
Mousetrap.
You know what I mean? Like
Ladybug,
if I'd seen it,
Venture.
like they were games.
Avenger. Cosmic Avenger. That's it.
Slither was their big one because you got the.
Oh, yeah.
We had that. We had the Slither thing. I didn't have the Turbo, and I never had the sports one. The other Adam, my other friend from Adam Jackson from Canada, he was big in ColecoVision. He had the Super Action controller with ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah, the
Fun
baseball.
Spot has an amazing ColecoVision in a glass case now display. They have the added computer.
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's right next to Hercules now. It wasn't there before, but they have a beautiful display of ColecoVision in the boxes and everything. It's really
That's
nice,
awesome.
nicely set up. Yeah.
Did you ever play Frenzy on ColecoVision? Because
I don't remember.
Oh,
if you ever
yeah.
play Frenzy, it's
Yeah.
really close to the arcade. I
Yeah.
thought as far as ports,
Yep.
it's really well done. So my friend had that, and I didn't know that was in arcades either. Like what Adam said, and then I saw it like I don't know, 6 months.
I was like,
something.
oh, they made an arcade game out of it.
It is an arcade game. Yeah.
It's like, no,
that
it's the other
happened
way
to me
around.
with a lot of
Wrong
stuff
way
too.
around.
Yeah.
Didn't they make Space Fury for ColecoVision?
Oh,
for
yeah.
some...
Yeah, they
I
did.
loved
They
all
did
those
Star
games.
Wars even.
All
The
those
Vector
games.
Star
Oh,
Wars.
see, I don't remember that.
It's real bad. I mean, I'll show you on YouTube. It's funny to watch.
God, I
but-
can't imagine how bad.
There
it
are
is.
so many games I didn't realize they were arcade.
You gonna
Like,
make it, Carrie?
oh, this is a port of the arcade.
It's funny too because I didn't realize
You look
that.
tired.
So when I discovered that they were
Long day.
based off an arcade game, I then said, okay, so are there also Atari 2600 ports of these arcade games? And there are. And then I looked at those and was like,
Oh, and they're
holy
terrible.
cow.
Oh,
Like,
they're awful.
Coleco was,
That's all.
was
But Adam,
light
you
years
had
ahead.
you had the elite
Right.
ColecoVision,
Yeah, right.
and
Check
I had
out
the
the,
2600.
No,
so when
actually-
I'm like playing the Atari stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, this is great. Wow, there's an arcade version. Wow, this is a whole different game.
Well, Adam, I
Check
had
out
the
Star
Atari,
Wars
I
on
had the
sequel,
Atari
right?
400.
My cousin had the. So I told this story, but my cousin had the. He got the 7800 Atari, and I was like, wow. These games look so awesome, and the slots were the same for the cartridges.
Right.
So he would borrow my games, so I'm like, "Oh, can I take a couple of your games?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I remember plugging them in, and the disappointment that they didn't work. And I'm like, "Oh."
You know what? That Star Wars isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The way you guys said it, like I would have been happy with that. I don't know why I never had that. Like that Star Wars for ColecoVision.
Oh,
Like,
they
I
made
thought-
that. I didn't
check
even
that
know they
link
made that.
out.
I went to look that up.
Yeah,
Check the
yeah.
link out in the IRC.
That's not as
The
bad
game's
as
not
I
bad
thought.
for what they tried to do.
No, but Adam, do you remember the overlay for like Mousetrap? You had the invention. You had those overlays that
this
went.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
taped to the
slide them
screen.
in your
Yeah,
controller.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
That's not
isn't as
bad.
bad as I thought it would be.
Wow, this is actually not bad at all.
Wow.
Wow.
Look, it even spins. Look at Darth Vader spins.
Yeah, I don't. Why didn't I have this?
It's pretty good.
Huh.
And then the
that's
stage
cool.
with the towers that doesn't tilt, but it's still
Oh.
the same idea.
It's not. It's.
Wow.
I would have been happy with this.
I mean, at the
don't-
time, this would have been legit right here.
Oh, that would have blown my mind
Yeah.
right
I
here.
mean, this is pretty close.
For home system, yeah. pretty
Oh,
good.
simpler days.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I told the story when I got ColecoVision. I was bummed because I wanted 2600 because everyone on my street had an Atari and we could borrow cartridges. So I'm the
Yeah.
only kid on the street. We had Smurf and fucking Donkey Kong, and that
Oh,
was
yeah,
it was
Smurf.
good. It's like, hey, look
Saving
what I got,
Smurfette.
but I want to borrow your cartridges, but there's
Yeah.
no one to borrow.
Nobody
Didn't
wants to trade.
ColecoVision get wasn't there an add-on for the
Yeah,
ColecoVision?
yeah,
did,
exactly.
yeah,
And it was
yeah.
$80. I begged my father to get it so we could borrow other games because the games are so expensive. They're not going to like,
Yeah.
oh, here's $50, $60. We'll buy you another game. But if we get the expansive module, all of a sudden the kids on the street, yeah, here, take it. I've already played it. We can
I had
play
the-
all
Ah.
I had the Atari expansion for the Intellivision, and I ended up taking it back because I ended up getting an Atari 2600 for cheaper and a game
Oh,
for
shit.
free. It was
the
cheaper than buying the expansion.
I
module.
have fond memories of going out to the farm and borrowing Atari 2600 games from my uncle, and getting excited about that.
Was his last name Pooh?
Wish it was sometimes. Yes, yeah. It would have been that would have made me laugh a hell of a lot more. Although we have on my mom's side we have a very very German name that you could put a spin on Schlungen.
Schlungen.
Yeah, Schlungen. Yes,
How do you pronounce the O?
it's an A. Yeah, yeah. Looks like Schlingen. But yeah, no, like Punch Out. Punch Out was a game that I knew from playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and like I had no idea. Like I remember seeing Punch Out in the arcade, but not playing 2 and 2 together. That was supposed to be the same game. And then reading about like the whole story behind like there's a good documentary on YouTube about Punch Out and why how it came to be, why Nintendo developed it. And I love the story because it's so simple. They were just looking for, and that's why like all the dual monitor games, like the four games.
Oh yeah, they had so many monitors. They had to get rid of them, so they're making these 2 monitor games. Like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, and they're like, well, they had some cool ideas. Like originally, all the monitor games they'd be side by side, and like like a car, like a driving game or something would go from one monitor to the other. But then they're like, no, that's too much power. We don't have the hardware to do that, so we need something simpler. Oh, we'll just use one monitor just for like the statistics and who you're in the it's so funny, but I love it. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
it's
behind the
so
scenes
funny.
and the history of it all and everything.
Yeah, and it's such a different game than regular Punch Out. Like Super Punch Out's closer to the port on Super Nintendo than the regular is. The regular Nintendo Mike Tyson's Punch Out is to the original.
You can duck in the NES version, right?
You push down twice,
Right,
but no one ever uses the duck. So it's like, it's kind of a stupid move. It's more like showboating, I feel like, unless, I mean, there are the world record guys, but I think they rarely use that move too.
You ever seen the blindfolded? That's fucking cool.
Or and on top of that, there's also one where it's blindfolded. It's 2 people together blindfolded and they're holding the same controller. One person's doing the D-pad. It's a 2 record holder guys. It was for like a charity or something, and they get through it all because they know they know the timing together and they're coordinating. And it's just amazing. But a lot of the nuances with the port on the NES and Mike Tyson's Punch Out are identical to the arcade version as far as like button presses go. So one of the big things is that with Punch Out, you can hold the button down, and at the very first frame that move can come out, it will. So say for instance, you knock your opponent down and you want to hit him with an uppercut the first possible second you can. When he gets up, you can just be holding the knockout button down and it'll come out right away as soon as he gets up. Same as if you dodge something, you can push the button before you can even get the move out, and it'll come out on the first frame that it possibly can. Oh, wow. You can do the same thing in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So
Jack,
there's
wake the fuck up.
Nicely done, Brad.
I'm getting
I
old,
missed
man.
Was he asleep? I missed it.
Oh,
Mark is tuning out.
He's just enjoying the sound of our voices.
Yes.
Love you, Gak.
You too, buddy.
Gak. By the way, Gak. So enough of this nerd talk for you. I just got you get the Facebook memories and stuff.
Okay.
You probably got this too because it was your photo, but I had to show Carrie because it was the 4 of us doing a wine tasting from like a little over a year ago.
I must have missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, remember those days when we didn't have to wear masks?" And it was the blink of an eye. it was the blink of an eye before COVID, and yeah.
Awesome.
Those days,
Yeah.
I love that story.
Didn't want him to fall off his chair. Nice, Brad.
I can see him just slowly starting to do this.
Slink away.
Well, now if Andrew did it now, he'd actually run into stuff, it looks like. Yeah.
I can't lean back too far, that's all.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a disaster.
Hold on.
That's a very
Start
thin
OBS,
divider.
Start recording. Okay, and now lean back.
Yeah. And go. No.
Oh.
Shit.
Starting to go.
Yikes.
I've got the holiday cheer, but I'm not that holiday cheerish.
What?
I think I'm going to call it as well.
Toys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
Yeah, I
that
suppose.
time.
No,
Put a bow on it.
pulled a later one than normal. Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun.
It was very
It's
fun.
actually one of the longer ones we've had in a while.
Well, we've had.
I can't believe Adam's stayed
Yeah, we
up.
had time to
I
make
know.
up
I was
for it.
just about to type in over here. I got to go to bed because it's like
Yeah, I was just going to say it's like
my time.
it's 2:30 our.
Oh, we had about 14
here
people
past
into
1
one
o'clock?
14 or 15 tonight. So
Yeah, no, it was
that's pretty
great.
good.
It was awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
At one point.
I'm
Yeah.
taking the next 2 weeks off, so I'll be around next week too if you guys are doing it again. So.
All right.
That's season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's when we come back for season 2.
Well, let's take it off air and maybe spend a couple minutes talking about that before everyone bails.
I gotta watch Andrew fall like 3 more times. I wasn't there, but I can't stop watching.
Okay, the first
It's
time
so
it happened,
good.
in my defense, the first time it happened, I thought I was muting my mic before laughing like a fucking hyena for 10 minutes. I didn't realize that I had
Literally never rewatched any of our shows, so
that's probably
I
a good
don't really
thing.
remember that.
This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Ignorance
Of course it is. I
It
know
is
better.
easier that way.
Yeah, I know better.
If I
Makes
don't
it easier
watch
to
it
come back the
again,
following week.
I don't
There's
even
a
feel
reason we
embarrassed.
drink on the
It's-
show,
it's
so we
like it didn't
forget
happen.
about all this shit.
but I own it.
Take us out, Mock.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks
Episode
for joining
250.
everybody. Thanks for joining us for episode 250 at the end of season 1. Season 2? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
Oh no, because they're coming back. We already have a guest line up. I mean, in
I think
January.
we do
so.
have a guest lined up.
We do.
Yeah.
We just
so
don't know
we will-
like what the date will be yet.
So that'll
Right,
be episode
exactly.
1, season 2. Or maybe
All right.
episode 251, season 2. But yeah, well, we'll talk about more of it next time when we get together. But till then, we might not even have a show next week. It might be 3 weeks out.
Everybody,
Right?
Happy New Year,
So-
Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy holidays.
Dave's last
Look at
Kwanzaa,
Dave
and
go.
all that
I'll be back on Christmas Day.
To watch that video with sound on it, apparently.
good stuff. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Happy holidays.
Bye, everybody.